Fordham University looking as pretty as possible on this perfect Saturday afternoon in the Bronx. This, the setting for a top 10 visit as the Fordham Rams host number 7 and unbeaten Lehigh right here on SNY. Welcome inside our tiny corner atop Moglia Stadium. Thank you so much for being with us on this glorious Saturday afternoon. I'm Andrew Bogus. She's Andrew Posadas. Vince Lombardi is with us here as well. Partner, we were here a week ago when the Rams ran out of steam late against Dartmouth. Now they have to face the high-flying Mountain Hawks.
Yeah, Fordham hung in tough for 3 quarters and change against the Big Green before that disappointing fourth quarter finish. And partner, there's no time to dwell over that loss because in walks in the 7th-ranked team in the nation.
Their head coach is Kevin Cahill. One of his best friends in the world is Fordham head coach Joe Conlon, which presents an interesting wrinkle to this game.
Yeah, and from our conversations with both coaches, it's never easy facing each other, especially when both coaches have had the best of each other in their respective home stadiums.
This will be their 3rd meeting head-to-head as the head coaches of these two programs. They each have a win, and those are the only ones that they enjoyed going head-to-head with their buddy over.
Yeah, and we'll see now. Once that ball kicks off, both guys will be locked in. Friendship will be out the door. It's all about getting that next win.
Yeah, about a 3.5-hour pause on their relationship. Artis Selta, who is the Fordham offensive coordinator, was with Conlon and Cahill at Yale, and were all huge parts back in 2014 of the number 1 offense in FCS. There is Coach Cahill, his team, on a 12-game regular season win streak. It goes back to last year. Their only loss in recent memory was their playoff loss at Idaho, which taught them a lot about where they were, where they needed to go, sent them into the offseason. They come out of that offseason, and they still have not lost yet this year. They do it in a number of different ways. I spent a lot of time this week trying to figure out if this is an elite defensive team with a very good offense or elite offense and a stingy defense. It doesn't matter. They do almost everything well right now.
Either way, it's an elite unit on both sides. And talking with Coach Cahill, even he admitted he doesn't feel like this team has played their most complete game. They haven't played a complete 60 minutes, and I think you and I are both pretty scared to see what a complete 60 minutes looks like if that happens here this afternoon.
Although I feel like that's the official complaint of an unbeaten head coach is we're 7-0, we're in the top 10 of the FCS in multiple categories, both sides of the football, but we haven't had a full effort yet. Fordham kicks off to get us going this afternoon. Jayden Green spins his way across the 30-yard line. And we'll get our first look at this Lehigh offense, which does most of its damage on the ground. The number 6 run game in America, averaging 236 yards per game running the football, but with a very good developing sophomore quarterback in Hayden Johnson orchestrating it all.
Yeah, and Hayden Johnson got some snaps last season. An injury at the quarterback position allowed him to start the last 4 games, and now this season he's hit the ground running. He's completing over 60% of his passes, 1,300 yards, and 12 touchdowns versus 3 interceptions.
Their leading rusher, Luke Yoder, is right behind him. Yoder top 10 in America in yards per game at 108.7 and at 6.9 yards a tote. 2 tight ends and a handoff for Yoder to get us going this afternoon, and there's room for Yoder, pushed out of bounds by Nate Lindsey-Gill right across midfield. Now, from the Fordham perspective, they want to play better than a week ago. They want to win their 2nd game of the season, but there is also history within reach for Jimmy Conway, their stud linebacker. He begins today needing 12 tackles, which is very much within his reach to become number 1 all-time in FCS.
Yeah, only one person stands in his way. Boomer Grigsby, 550 tackles, 12 away from history.
This is Johnson's first throw of the afternoon, and Matt Davino makes a catch inside the 35-yard line. So 2 chunk plays to begin the afternoon, and the Mountain Hawks moving the football.
Yeah, Matt Davino, he's 4th on the team. He has 10 receptions on the year, and last season, his first career touchdown came against Fordham in their game at Bethlehem.
Lehigh won that game, improving to 26-10 overall against the Rams. But Fordham, for the last decade plus, has gotten the better of Lehigh, won 8 of the last 11 meetings, including that loss in Pennsylvania last year. Another first down, another Yoder run, and this time the Fordham front has it covered. And James Conway's part of his first tackle of the afternoon. Claudia Robinson helping out as well.
And this is the second straight week with this rushing attack. And with a quarterback who can scramble for James Conway, it's going to be a hard challenge having to discern when they're going to that read option, when the quarterback's going to pull the ball and scramble. So for James Conway, a lot of different roles, whether it's blitzing, playing quarterback spy, a lot will be on his plate against this rushing attack.
If you were with us a week ago against Dartmouth, you heard that the Fordham defense was back to basically full strength. It stays that way for this one. A catch from Humphrey trying to break a tackle, but Kemper does not let him go. That's Mason Humphrey, their number 2 wide receiver, wearing number 2 on his back as well.
And you talk about Fordham's defense being back at full strength. Alex Kemper, one of those guys who came back last week. He had missed the previous 2 games, and he was their best tackler last season, led all Fordham defensive backs in tackles.
3rd first down already of this drive for Lehigh, now inside the Fordham 25-yard line. 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and Yoder back on the ground. Shrugs off that first contact to get inside the 20-yard line. Luke Yoder coming off one of his lower production games of the season, 67 yards and a touchdown. They roughed up Columbia 2 weeks ago, so Lehigh rested as well coming off their bye, not to mention being unbeaten.
Yeah, and as Coach Cahill put it to us, between Yoder and Green, there's a lot of unselfishness there. Nobody cares about who's going to be the main guy from game to game. It just depends. Somebody's number is going to be called, and someone's going to perform. Jaden
Green, the smaller, quicker sophomore, is in now to the right of Hayden Johnson. He'll get his first carry of the afternoon, and he's met immediately. Andrew Osman helps turn him around.
Andrew Osman, second on the team in tackles. That's his 63rd of the year, and playing next to James Conway really has allowed him to blossom in this role next to him. And for Andrew Osman, he's really having a career year for the Rams.
His career year included the interception that sealed Fordham's lone win this year over Holy Cross a couple of weekends ago on this field. And that stop setting up at 3rd and 6, just across the 20, so certainly in field goal range. 4 wide receivers on 3rd down for Lehigh, with Green in the backfield flanking Johnson. Rams send 4. Johnson takes an end zone shot, and Jamil just can't haul it in. That's his favorite target, Jeffrey Jamil. He made a great one-handed catch in that Columbia game. Can't haul that one in, and this drive stalls, so it's field goal time for the Mountain Hawks.
And that's the guy you've got to zero in on, number 9. When they do go into that play action, look to get big plays through the air. Jeffrey Jamil is going to be the primary target, and Justin Johnson got beat on that route, but unfortunately Hayden Johnson just puts it over the head of Jamil for a potential 6.
Nick Garrido is 7 for 7 on field goals this year for Lehigh. Senior from Easton, Pennsylvania. Let's call this 36 yards. Right in the middle of the field. And Lehigh has the first points of the afternoon. They move the ball well, but Fordham stops them, keeps them out of the end zone. A mini win for the Ram defense, the Ram offense for the first time in the Bronx when we come back on SNY. 8th season, about to see his offense on the field for the first time, with Lehigh set to kick off after Nick Garrido's 36-yard field goal. Coach Conlin's all-time record now here in the Bronx at 32-47. That record skewed by the last season plus, only 2 wins a year ago. Now just 1-6, as it's about to be November all of a sudden, and just a handful of games left. One more home game after this one, 2 weekends from now. Troy Worrell, the young wide receiver from his own 2 on the return and across the 20-yard line. Here comes the Fordham offense, led by Gunnar Smith, the junior from Lake Mary, Florida, first year starting, first year playing here in the Bronx. Coming off a game where he threw for just 238, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and he was sacked 3 times in the loss to Dartmouth.
Yeah, that 1 bad interception in the end zone is Sean Williams. As we look at his stats this season, completing 58% of his passes, as you noted, over 1,700 yards passing and 10 touchdowns versus 7 picks.
Certainly would like that completion percentage to get north of 60. He pulls it on first down, gets pushed to the outside, and dives down to safety. Matt Spatney was there. William Parton was there. And I think Davis Rice was the 3rd Mountain Hawk that got in for a defense that is top 10 nationally in points allowed, yards allowed, run defense, and 3rd down defense.
Yeah, they only allow 281 total yards and less than 70 yards on the ground.
Fordham goes backwards 4 yards on its first play. Ricky Parks gets some of that back out to the 25-yard line, but here comes 3rd and medium-ish for this Rams offense.
And this is a product of this hurry up. If that first down results in a negative play, now you're behind the 8 ball, 2nd and 3rd down, both long situations. And again, that play call, that playbook is now limited in what you can call out there as Gunnar Smith gets some more instructions from the Fordham sideline.
Lehigh leads the Patriot League, 21 sacks. Tyler Ohoyski, number 8, Matt Spatney, number 11, the 2 ends, most dangerous. Smith from behind, that's Ohoyski, down he goes. And Lehigh defensively opens with a 3-and-out.
And great job on the outside edge by Ohoyski, and gets right behind Gunnar Smith, brings him down, and good job by Gunnar Smith to at least keep that ball in. That could have easily been a strip sack, as at the end of the play there, saw one of the Fordham offensive linemen go down. It looks like it was Owen Deutsch, as I think he's now walking over to the sideline following the conclusion of that play.
4th sack of the year for Ohoyski, a senior from Freehold, New Jersey. Will Hazlitt's first punt of the afternoon is going to bounce into the outside with some room down the sideline. Still going for Lehigh. And finally, with Hazlitt getting to him down inside the 20, that's Nick Peltekian. There is a flag back near the Fordham 10-yard line. Hazlitt got hit after the punt. Will Hazlitt well, that is Antonio Marcella, the referee, could not hear his announcement. It's running into the kicker. It's just a 5-yard penalty, I thought.
Believe so.
And all that will do is back up the Lehigh offense, so they will start from the Fordham 22 after the great Peltekian return. We'll get you a replay of what happened to Hazlitt in just a second, but now the re-kick. Fordham has to do this after the great return, and it's their second punter, Dom Sansone, who booms one. Peltekian on the retreat inside his own 30, and he's cut down at the 40-yard line. This time the Rams cover it well, and the penalty on Lehigh flips the field in the Rams' favor.
Kids grow up fast, but with the money you earn from your PenFed checking and savings accounts, you can be there to support them through every stage of life. I got it.
The Patriot League on ESPN is on Instagram. Championship moments, amazing highlights, behind-the-scenes coverage, and features on the best and brightest athletes in the NCAA. Follow us at Patriot League today.
And it's time for trivia presented by Pollard. What is the name of the fellowship that one of Rose Hill and Lincoln Center campuses? Is it A, Wood Fire, B,
No.
Moonstone, C, Ram Rider, or D, Ram Band? And it is, of course,
Patriot League is
Ram
dedicated
Band.
to the development of the student
Offers
athlete,
inter-campus
excellence in
transportation
athletic competition,
since
challenging
1981
academic
and serves
personal
over
growth, and
250,000
contributions within their community.
passengers a year.
Patriot League places
Fordham
among the
Athletics
NCAA
Lowland Food
leaders
Club
in
is back
graduation
again.
rates
Want to
annually,
get your
with
kids
graduates
closer
moving on
to
to
the
serve
game
in
day
all
action.
facets of
Make sure to head
society,
over
using
to
their
the
talents
Kent
and
by
their physical
8A
team.
to
We are
Thank you.
today's scholar athletes. We are tomorrow's leaders. We are the Patriot League.
At PenFed Credit Union, we help our members make the most of their personal finances so they can make the most of their dreams.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
So the running into the punter penalty against Lehigh takes them from inside the Fordham 20 off the great return by Peltecki and back across midfield, starting at their own 41-yard line. Still a good place to start, just not where they were a few moments ago, already leading 3-0. This is meeting number 37 between these two schools. Lehigh, to say the least, dominated early. I believe it was 25-1 or something like that at one point.
Yep.
This was all Mountain Hawks. They won a year ago on their home field, but Fordham, behind Tim DeMorat and company, did start to get back into this head-to-head, having won 8 of the last 11 meetings, including the loss last year.
Yeah, Fordham's 10-15 against Lehigh since joining the Patriot League, but the last 3 games here at Jack Coffey Field, one-score games.
A walk-off field goal from Brandon Peskin 2 years ago. Second Lehigh drive begins with running back number 2, Jaden Green, going up the middle. We were keeping an eye all afternoon on James Conway, who came in needing 11 tackles to tie, 12 to break the FCS all-time record. 1 tackle for Conway on that opening drive.
Yeah, they'll credit that previous tackle to Jack Lowe.
Conway already over 100 tackles this season. And we're basically right now, with this game, being 4 full seasons of action for him. There have been a lot of records in a lot of sports over the last couple of years that have changed hands because of athletes taking advantage of the COVID year, playing a 5th season. I actually thought it's been unfair at times to the original record holders who did their damage in 4 years. But James Conway could break this record today in 4 full seasons for him because he only played 4 games a year ago.
Yeah, just an incredible feat, an incredible accomplishment, an incredible career, especially coming back against someone like Ryan Greenhagen, following up an elite caliber athlete like Greenhagen himself.
A swing pass to Jaden Green on 3rd down. He negotiates his way across midfield to the 46-yard line, and that's another Lehigh first down.
And Jaden Green, out of between him and Yoder the more power of the back, but Jaden Green can catch passes out the backfield, and he's 4th on the team in receptions right now. He's caught double-digit passes.
Lehigh's the best 3rd down offense in the Patriot League, number 11 in FCS, converting at 48%. They make that one. And that's Hayden Johnson motioning to the bottom of your screen. So Matt Mahalik, a sophomore, is the quarterback. Normally does this, bouncing to the outside. Nate Lindsey-Gill trips him up after a couple.
Yeah, he's only thrown 2 passes this season, so you know if Mahalik gets into the game, it's going to be a designed quarterback power run right there. Mahalik breaks it out to the left side and finds some daylight. Fordham luckily in pursuit, and that's number 8 right there, Nate Lindsey-Gill in with the tackle.
Back to a more normal setup here for Lehigh for 2nd and 6. With Johnson back behind center, a career-high 240 yards passing for him a week ago. Much like Grayson Saunier from Dartmouth last Saturday, this is an athletic quarterback with the ability to run, but Saunier did a lot of damage through the air against this Fordham defense, which is struggling. So we'll see what Johnson can do throwing today. That run doesn't get the much, and once again here, it's a 3rd and medium for Lehigh.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Dan Hunt, the offensive coordinator, does he put Hayden Johnson in more positions where he can roll out to his right, to his left, and get this Fordham defense on their heels.
Rams have struggled getting pressure on the quarterback all season long. It's part of the reason why they have struggled, generally speaking, defensively all season long. They show blitz up the middle. Johnson throws, back shoulder catch, Humphrey, and that's a 1st down.
And Fordham sent James Conway on the blitz up the middle. Hayden Johnson reads it perfectly and leaves it up for Mason Humphrey. He's 6'4", 215. He's their tallest pass catcher, and right there, throw it up, give him that huge radius, and Humphrey comes down with it.
TJ Jones in coverage. He has had a good year against the pass this season. 6 breakups to his credit so far, but could not get turned around fast enough. So Lehigh keeps driving, keeps moving. On the edge of the red zone, Mahalik back in, kept it himself, and then loses his footing. Just gets back across the line. A little fake RPO there with Jaden Green coming in motion.
Yeah, some misdirection with a potential jet sweep, but if Mahalik's under center, if he's behind there, you got to know 9 times out of 10, he's going to keep that. He's going to run with it. Fordham, good job sniffing that out.
Johnson comes back in. So does Yoder at running back. To the air again, looking for Humphrey again, and this time Jones breaks it up. And Humphrey is injured in that far corner.
Yeah, right by the pylon. Looks like he's holding on to that left knee, trying to battle with TJ Jones down the sideline. And now time will be called as the Lehigh trainers go over to check on Humphrey.
Lehigh has had very good fortune in this. Now, they've had a couple of guys miss a couple of games, but for the most part this year, they have been healthy. They got healthy coming out of their bye. This is what they do not want to see, though. Their number 2 wide receiver down on his back in discomfort on the far sideline.
And behind Jeffrey Jamil, Mason Humphrey, the 2nd best receiver on this Lehigh offense. He's 2nd in receptions, yards, and touchdown catches. But right here just looks to go down awkwardly after TJ Jones breaks up that play. We'll see, it almost looks like the left leg steps a little wrong, maybe a bit hyperextended, and Mason Humphrey stays down after the play is over.
They just worked that back shoulder connection to perfection to get a 1st down, threw it again. Jones the breakup, and now Humphrey is up, but having a real hard time getting off the field. His first step, that leg kind of went out on him, but now he's able to get his momentum, get himself going here to the sideline. But again, that's their number 2 wide receiver. And a good compliment to Jamil that they need back on the field as soon as possible.
And with his size at 6'4", he's arguably the best threat at the goal line with fade routes, stuff in the end zone. So without him, Fordham's defense now can key in more on Jeffrey Jamil without Mason Humphrey in the fold.
Back to 3rd down, 3rd and 10 to be exact. Already 3-0 Lehigh, back in field goal range. Their first drive stalled right around here. Rams flinched for a second, but nobody jumped. Johnson looking to his right, moving in that direction. And out of bounds he goes near the 20-yard line, but that's well short of the 1st down. Good coverage down the field and good pursuit by the Fordham pass rush.
Yeah, Andrew Osmond's out there in coverage by the sideline, and Hayden Johnson, something you don't want to do, run right into Andrew Osmond. Osmond gladly tackles him out of bounds. And again, Fordham's defense, bend but do not break. We saw that throughout the first half against Dartmouth, and it's holding true here in this first quarter against Lehigh.
Nicarito hit from 36. This would be from 39. He's 8 for 8 now this season on field goals. Snap and hold are there. Plenty of leg, but that one's wide right. First miss of the season, and it's an empty trip for Lehigh. We'll head to break before Fordham gets back on the field offensively after Garrido pushes one to the right to keep us just 3-0. Feeling the beautiful campus of Fordham University. Andrew Bogish, Andrew Posadas with you live on SNY. Thanks so much for being with us. Patriot League action on this Saturday afternoon. Lehigh, the number 7 team in the country, 7-0 this season. They've won 12 consecutive regular season games going back to last year. They've had the ball twice. They have hit and missed a field goal. And now Fordham's offense that went 3 and out to start is back on the field after that missed Mountain Hawk field goal. And Jamel James is the first running back out for this drive for Fordham. There's issues across the board for this team, but in particular, they need to establish the run. Everything they do comes off of that, but they just can't figure out how to be consistently productive on the ground this year.
And I think that starts with execution and being clean, especially with your blocking. 8 penalties against Dartmouth, and I believe 5 of them were on the Fordham offensive line. A few big runs negated by flags, and right there, good blocking to open up some space for Jamel James.
6 yards on first down for James, a good start, but now he goes nowhere. T.J. Burke darts through and brings him down, the 300-pound senior nose tackle from Delaware.
Yeah, he's tied for second on this team with 4.5 tackles for loss, make it 5.5 after that great play in the backfield.
He and Jaden Nelson anchor the middle of the Lehigh defensive line. I think Quentin Joyner is out next to Burke on this 3rd and 5. Gunnar Smith to the air for the first time today. Jabril Carter able to hold on, and that's a Fordham first down.
Jabril Carter has been their best possession receiver this season with his big body, his frame, able to jump up and make a nice leaping catch for the first down.
First and 10 at the 34.
Back to the air, quick to the outside. Jack Freeberg with Carter blocking will get a couple. And the Rams flirting with some offensive momentum for the first time this afternoon.
And Temple's working right now for this Fordham offense. Quick play, something nice, pre-scheduled, and good job getting some extra yards before going out of bounds.
Gunnar Smith continues to lead the Patriot League in yards per game, completions per game. Over the middle, that's 3 in a row. Freeberg the catch and the hit, and the Rams are moving near midfield.
And something we've seen Jack Freeberg have success with, those dig routes, those seam routes. We can get over the middle, find space, and make defenses pay.
4 wide receivers, including a tight end, Jaden Allen, slot right here. They keep it in the air. Now Smith's got to do it himself. Makes a man miss. Gunnar Smith into Lehigh territory. It's another Fordham first down to the Mountain Hawk 36.
Yeah, Gunnar Smith, that 6'5" frame, has long legs, and he scoots down the field. Good job there. Nothing was open over the middle. Good coverage by the Lehigh defense playing zone, and Gunnar Smith sees some space up the middle and makes him pay.
This Lehigh defense put a chokehold on a Columbia offense that had major issues at quarterback last time out. Johan Lee Lewis, freshman running back, bangs over right guard, maybe for a yard or 2 on first down. Columbia last week, or 2 weeks ago, last game, managed just 42 yards in the opening half, only 228 total against this stingy Lehigh defense. Columbia then went to Dartmouth last night and took a whooping from that team that we saw just a week ago. Smith, under duress, got away from the first Mountain Hawk, but not the second, third, or fourth. And he's sacked for the second time this afternoon.
Yeah, Lehigh sniffs out that read option. They get in the backfield, and Gunnar Smith makes the right decision. He doesn't let Johan Lee Lewis take that ball. That could have been a bad exchange, resulted in a fumble. Instead, Gunnar Smith keeps it and eats it, lives to play another down.
Ends up being 3rd and 12 after that, final minute of the opening quarter. It's a draw play to James, who's inside the 35-yard line. That seemed like a play call for a second, as if you were going to go for it on 4th down after the fact, but instead the Rams will come out and try a long field goal with Bennett Henderson. This would be from just past 51 yards. His long is 52. This would basically be that. And that is the end of the first quarter first. Well, we'll see what the Rams do
first quarter
after this timeout. Gunnar Smith with a productive drive through the air. 3 completions to get the Rams maybe in field goal range.
I came to New York City from the Dominican Republic. I was a math and science kid, and the Jesuit education at Fordham made it possible to not just excel in science, but expand how I saw the world through public service and my mentors. Fordham
A 51.5-yard field goal to begin the second quarter. He gets it away. Is it going to have the distance? It is not. And Peltekian will catch it, bring it out of the end zone. Peltekian's across the 35-yard line on the return, but there are flags everywhere. This began with Chris Tuck having his helmet ripped off back in the line of scrimmage, and then maybe there was an illegal blindside block on Lehigh as well. So there are plenty of things, multiple things here to sort out.
Yeah, it looks like that was T.J. Burke with the potential blindside block as Peltekian, because of the fact that it came up short, he has the opportunity to return that out of the end zone. And for Bennett Henderson, his career-long 52, but hadn't made one more than 30 last week against Dartmouth. Only had 2 field goals for 29 yards was the long one. So right there, a bit past his range, if you would, right on the edge of it, and Fordham unable to convert and get any points on that drive.
I don't know if it affected that kick, but Fordham had to change long snappers. Michael Doctor got hurt on one of the earlier punts. So Jack Jedlicka snapped that ball. Will Hazlitt got it down. Didn't look great on that exchange. That might have explained why Henderson came up so short, as the officials now are talking to both head coaches.
There are 2 fouls on the play, one by each team. 24, Fordham participating without a helmet. That penalty is declined. Blindside block, number 0, during the return, half the distance from the spot of the foul. First down, Fordham.
So the flag near the line of scrimmage was not on Chris Tuck losing his helmet. It's on staying in the play after losing his helmet. So only Burke's block right there, on, by the way, the replacement long snapper. Yep. That is the penalty that gets enforced, but it is Lehigh football. It's no points for Fordham. And the Mountain Hawks will begin. Let's see where they're going to spot this ball. From the 24, half the distance back to the 12-yard line. So we've had a lot going on here, special teams-wise, multiple penalties, 2 missed field goals, a return of a missed field goal, and a change of long snapper.
And the field position here, that great punt return by Peltekian, and now bringing it out of the end zone, both of them negated, and now Lehigh have to start inside their 15.
Fighting hard for an extra yard or 2 is Luke Yoder. Now the best thing that Fordham does defensively is stop the run. There's an injured Ram after this play. Can't see who that is. It's Peter Shalhoub, who has been injured, missed multiple games, was back last week, and now he's down again.
Yeah, that was his first game since Stony Brook back in September, and now being checked out by the trainers is he'll get up on his own power.
It's good to see Shalhoub getting up and jogging off. Mason Humphrey was back out there for Lehigh in that last play, so their number 2 wide receiver seemed to really injure a leg, trying to make a catch on their last drive. Only misses a couple of plays. Yoder got 5, so this will be 2nd and 5. Dartmouth ran on Fordham a week ago, but the 2 games before that, the Rams had gotten very stingy running the football. They need to get back to that today against Lehigh. You can't stop them on the ground. You just need to limit the damage. Johnson pushed to his right, throwing on the move, and it's incomplete. He threw it behind his tight end, Joseph Marenka, who almost deflected that one too close to James Conway.
Yeah, I believe that was Tyler Davis. Good rush there to force Hayden Johnson to his right and make that a tough throw, having to throw across his body.
Davis, number 45 in maroon, is just a freshman, has gotten some playing time because of Shalhoub's injury and others on the defensive line. Lorenzo Riddick, number 46, is now the right end for Fordham on 3rd and 5. Jaden Green grabbed by one arm. Sam Burkle denies him. There was an opening for the first down, and then a right hand came in and wiped it all out.
Yeah, it looks like there was a crevice there for the first down, but a nice job by Colby Spencer with his right arm, who says, get over here, and brings Jaden Green back down on the ground as Fordham's defense stiffens up again on third down.
It's 98-99, my apology. So Burkle, who normally makes some stud plays, makes way for Spencer to get that one. And now it is Connor Poole to punt for the first time this afternoon for Lehigh. Fair catch made near the 45-yard line by Jack Freeberg. So this Fordham defense, after fading late on the field a lot against Dartmouth, has now held Lehigh to a field goal, then a missed field goal, and forces a punt. The offense looking for points when we come back to the Bronx.
I came to New York City from the Dominican Republic. I was a math and science kid, and the Jesuit education at Fordham made it possible to not just excel in science, but expand how I saw the world through public service and my mentors. Fordham helped me understand who I wanted to be, a doctor with a holistic human approach. Now that I have my own psychiatry practice, I help people lead better lives every day.
At Lehigh, we don't just want to leave our mark on the world. We want to leave the world better than we found it. We envision possibilities and engineer solutions. We think education should be experiential and experimental. We seek out new ways to connect and collaborate, and create a community we can always come home to. At Lehigh, we are built for tomorrow's challenges. Are you?
Your whole home runs on internet, so don't take slow for an answer. Get Optimum Fiber, awarded the fastest and most reliable fiber internet, starting at only $40 a month. Be blown away by speeds 4 times faster than Verizon and 16 times faster than 5G home internet. Act right now and get an unlimited mobile line included for 1 year. And the Disney Plus Hulu bundle basic on us for 6 months. Experience fiber internet starting at $40 a month. Call 888-4Optimum, visit Optimum.com or a store near you.
DeChico & Sons is your grocery destination for curated specialty products, delicious store-made meals, and an exceptional shopping experience. Founded in the Bronx and run by Fordham graduates, we have proudly served our community for over 50 years. Explore our gourmet departments, including an authentic Italian bakery, premium meat selection, fresh produce, and personalized catering services for any event. DeChico & Sons, quality first.
Welcome back to the Bronx. Early second quarter. Lehigh, the number 7 team in the country, a 3-0 lead. Fordham coming off. It's better of 2 offensive drives so far this afternoon, but stalled just across midfield, and then Bennett Henderson missed a 51-yard field goal. So Gunnar Smith goes back to work. Looking near side and finding Jabril Carter. Little comeback route in front of DJ Brown. Second catch for the youngster.
Yeah, both working each other on the sideline right there, and it's a good job by Jabril Carter to fake like he's running that vertical and then come back at the last minute with that hitch.
Carter is a junior but did not play the previous 2 years. Came into today, 14 catches, 179, 2 scores, and now Ricky Parks crashes his way forward to move the chains again. And Nick Peltekian a little slow getting up, and smartly Matt Spatney tackled him. Now the ball was spotted, and there are new rules in college football. Now it's about faking injuries, but Peltekian got up, stung from that last tackle. He was trying to get off the field on his own, and his teammate Spatney grabbed him and made him sit down. The officials, now the Fordham sideline was yelling about that because they were ready for play. But there is no flag, no nothing on the field right now, just the training staff checking on Peltekian.
Yeah, it's a senior-laden defense, and Matt Spatney right there, great presence of mind to understand if your teammate is hurt, stay down, give us a break, especially after that big run by Ricky Parks, who was hyped up on the sideline. Partner, that's arguably his best run since the 45-yarder against Holy Cross.
Peltekian, it looks like the left arm is the problem for a young man who missed the first 3 games of the season for Lehigh. Parks, a big old dude going straight ahead. Yeah, and that left arm, you see it there. The way it oddly came to rest on the back of Peltekian.
Yeah, just collided there with Bryson Edwards trying to stop Ricky Parks.
1st and 10 for Fordham, moving the football for the second consecutive drive. Little confusion on the linebacker level right now for Lehigh. But they're set. Smith will throw. Noden Tracy's first catch of the afternoon in front of DJ Brown again. As Tracy makes that catch, we should point out that Ricky Gonzalez remains out for Fordham. Rams thought number 5 might be back today. I thought I saw him out there going through warm-ups, but he is not dressed for this one. They come near side, and Smith misses Worrell.
You got to wonder if this is 2-down territory. It's 4th and short. Fordham doesn't get too many of these opportunities, especially when they're in enemy territory.
The field goal from here is certainly in Henderson's range. This is 3rd and 3, empty backfield. Smith head down, turned back by Bryson Edwards. This is going to be 4th and 1 or less, and the offense is going to stay out there for Fordham. 2 tight ends out there right now.
We've also seen the tush push from this Fordham offense on 4th and 1, so that could be on the table as well.
Let's see how they line up. For now, Smith in the true shotgun.
4th and 1.
The 2 tight ends are to his left. Just 1 wide receiver in this setup. Ricky Parks hit right away. I don't think he got it. Penetration by Patton, by Burke. The defense of Lehigh says they did their job, and now the officials do as well.
Ricky Parks trying to plead his case to the officials there, but they'll spot it just short of the 20-yard line. We'll take another look at that run as Fordham had opened up some gaps over the middle leading up to this play. But how about Lehigh getting into the backfield? That's number 58. That's Joshua Philemon. He comes in and he blows that up and stops Ricky Parks from getting over the 20.
Yeah, Parton and Burke were the guys that got up from the tackle, but it's definitely Philemon, who was their game captain today, who wins the one-on-one battle with his blocker and blows up that play. These 2 teams now trading promising but pointless drives. Luke Yoder running on 1st down. All things considered, though, sorry to interrupt, Fordham will take just a 3-0 hole after a quarter and 3+ minutes, but they want points on the end of these drives offensively.
Yeah, most definitely. It's one thing to sustain drives, get down the field, but you got to cash in, get in points, especially when this Fordham offense has been prone to those lapses. They'll have 3 straight possessions, 3 and out. You want to avoid that, and if you have good drives, you want to be able to get them in on the scoreboard.
It's also a team that has struggled in the red zone this year to score points, period, let alone get into the end zone. And they certainly today need touchdowns, not field goals, to pull off the upset. So you understand why they go forward there, but Lehigh makes the better play. James Conway in on that stop. That sets up a 3rd and 1. Conway, by the way, now at probably 9. We'll give him that last tackle for the moment unofficially, which will leave him at 9 away from the FCS record.
Yeah, and this Fordham defense has done a good job getting off the field on 3rd down. Lehigh 2 of 5 on 3rd down conversions here in the first half.
They'll run it with Yoder. He got hit right away, and he might be short. The spot is short. Fordham defensively has got the fist in the air to save 4th down, but now the officials say 1st down. The nose of the football is just across the 31-yard line, and for now that's going to be good enough to move the chains.
Yeah, it's a generous spot. I'd love to see a replay on that and just see where that ball ended up. James Conway made a great tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Nothing from the booth up here to stop play. So Johnson's throwing, and again, back shoulder. Humphrey still on his feet. Tackled from behind by who else? James Conway. But Lehigh gets that spot, gets the 1st down, and now is in Fordham territory.
Yeah, and TJ Jones trying to stay stride for stride with Mason Humphrey. But as you noted, that back shoulder throw, keeping it high, allowing your tall wide receiver to make a play. He does, gets up the field. A huge chunk gain there by the Lehigh offense.
They are now 2 for 3, throwing that back shoulder to Humphrey. Conway's up to 6 tackles. So he's halfway to history this afternoon. But first things first, this Lehigh drive, and that's Yoder into Conway for another tackle, but that one might have hurt Jimmy.
Yeah, looks like he landed hard there, grabbing at his lower abdomen. So take a look. Look, he's limping right here. He's 5 tackles away from the career record. Still staying on the field as the trainers will come and check him out.
Because there's a more injured Fordham player. Andrew Osman is down near the 35-yard line in a lot of pain. 2 stud Fordham linebackers nicked on the same play. Osman seems worse for wear than Conway. So James Conway came into today as they check on Osman. Already number 1 in Fordham history, in Patriot League history with 539 tackles. Needed 12 to break the FCS mark, and he's got 7 right now.
And because of the attention he garners from opposing offenses, Andrew Osman has directly benefited from getting some better looks, being able to blitz, being able to stay out in coverage. He's had to be basically backup for James whenever he goes out to blitz, as he'll get up and he'll start walking towards the sideline. The Fordham faithful give him a nice round of applause, but Andrew Osman has been a direct benefactor to the contributions and the impact of James Conway. That's somebody that Fordham needs to have at that second level.
Conway seems to be okay, even if he's not. He's going to stay on the field, and he's out there for what is 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 at the 39.
Johnson back to throw with plenty of time. Stepping up, heaving end zone. Humphrey can't reach it. A step too far. That should have been 6.
Yeah, it's the second time Hayden Johnson overthrew a receiver for a potential touchdown. He lost Jeffrey Jamil in the corner of the end zone on an earlier possession, and Mason Humphrey had him dead to rights, but an overthrow ends up in the back of the end zone, and Lehigh now 3rd and long again.
Not sure how Humphrey got wide open, but he could not have been more open, and Johnson just a little too strong behind the throw. So here's 3rd and 10. 4 wide receivers, Green with Johnson. They put it on the ground, straight ahead, squeaking through and reaching. But a little more than a yard short is Jaden Green, so it's 4th down. Yoder's coming back on the field, plus some extra big bodies, so now it's Lehigh's turn to go for it on 4th and short.
You got to think it's got to be some sort of read option, whether Hayden Johnson is going to leave it for Yoder on the dive or whether he pulls it back and tries to go to the outside to get it with his legs.
4 for 9 on 4th down this season. It's officially 4th and 2. It's Yoder looking for a hole, and he finds it. John Scott slapping the turf. Now his head, he got around the edge. He had a chance to get Yoder low, couldn't make the tackle, and the Mountain Hawks keep possession.
Yeah, he gets into the backfield first, but great patience shown by Luke Yoder, just shuffling his feet, getting a couple jukes in, and still is able to break that to the outside and pick up the 1st down.
9 tackles, by the way, now for Conway. So he is 3 away from being number 1 all-time in FCS. Run game, Yoder, huge seam up the middle. Inside the 20. Nate Lindsay, Gill, Boogie Owens in on that stop as well for Fordham. But here's Lehigh moving again, looking for the first touchdown of the afternoon.
Yeah, and that's the biggest hole this Lehigh offensive line has opened up, right up the middle, and now up to 75 yards rushing as a team.
That's an offensive line featuring 3 sophomores and 2 seniors. So they had some question marks about how good they were going to mesh and be.
Yep.
And that might be the biggest, I wouldn't say surprise, but that's a big reason, somewhat unexpectedly, why they got to 7-0, because that offensive line ahead of schedule gelled and let this run game stay elite. Yoder running over Conway inside the 15 for a few more.
Yeah, you make a good point about that offensive line. Aiden Palmer has moved in from left tackle to left guard. Colby Rett moved from left guard to center. When you talk about Saska, Ayash, they're both new to this. They're taking on new positions, but yet it's been a seamless transition. The only real foundational piece is Langston Jones. This is his 43rd straight start at right guard.
first team All-Patriot League a year ago. Palmer was second team All-Conference at left tackle and then gets moved into left guard and keeps just opening up huge holes. Yoder wants another one, running straight ahead. Jack Lowe's on his back, but Yoder's down to the 5, maybe the 6 now on a reshuffle by the official. Either way, though, it's first and goal Mountain Hawks. And they don't normally miss from here. They came into today on 26 red zone possessions, 18 touchdowns, and then 6 field goals.
And this is the area of the field where you could see 2 quarterbacks. Matt Mahalik could come in, whether it's him by himself or him and Hayden Johnson sharing that backfield.
We see their third running back, Aaron Crossley, for now. He's directly behind Johnson. A wide receiver to either side, plus 2 tight ends. It's Crossley back to the line of scrimmage. Conway had him by the ankles. Shaloub in there as well.
James Conway now 1 tackle away. He's now tied Boomer Grigsby. He's at 550, 1 tackle away from taking that FCS record all to himself.
We knew he was going to get a lot of tackles today the way Lehigh plays, but he's got 11 before halftime to match the all-time FCS tackle record. Second and goal from the 5. Mahalik is throwing. That's Jamil, yanked down by Osman inside the 1-yard line. So they put the backup quarterback out there. Only 2 passes coming into today. He throws there and almost gets a touchdown.
Yeah, tries to catch Jamil on a flat, but a good tackle there to save the touchdown by Osman, who came back out there after that previous injury.
Third and goal from the 1. Johnson will be behind center again. Yoder on his right hip, plus those 3 receivers bunched bottom of your screen. Joe Conlon's running down the sideline, and just before the snap, he gets a timeout. We often see Coach Conlon before the game. He's got a routine that includes a workout. You might catch him in a full sweat walking back to his office after that. So he was nice and warm for that 30-yard dart down the sideline to get the timeout. We'll step aside before it's third and goal from the 1 for Lehigh. Fordham timeout, third and goal from the 1 for Lehigh. Same formation for the Mountain Hawks after the timeout. Fordham didn't like its look against this setup. Lehigh stays with it. trying to extend this small lead. Marenka, the tight end's in motion. Johnson running it himself into the end zone for a Lehigh touchdown.
Hayden Johnson, 1-yard touchdown run.
That's what Lehigh can do best. Once they get into the red area, once they get inside the goal line, they have multiple options on who can bring it in, punch it in for 6. And right there, Hayden Johnson calls his own number off that motion by Marenka. So you bring in an extra blocker right up the middle, and that's 6. And Lehigh now 1 PAT away from a 10-0 lead.
It's almost unfair how many options they have running the football in a situation like that. Nick Garrido for the extra point. There is a flag on the play. The extra point for now is good. The lead is 10-0 before they sort this out. It was thrown from behind the formation, and they are looking at the Lehigh sideline, asking them what they want to do. So this appears to be on Fordham, and the choice becomes, if it's half the distance to the goal line and you're at the 1, do you go for 2 instead here?
Yeah, so that'll be their choice, or do you just add it on to the kickoff afterwards?
Formation, defense, lined up over the center. That penalty's declined. Point is good.
Okay.
So they decline the penalty. They'll take the one single point to make it 10-0 as Lehigh marches down the field and into the end zone for the first time this afternoon. Their QB in for 6.
Thank you for coming to the Bronx this family weekend, Rams.
I came to New York City from the Dominican Republic. I was a math and science kid, and the Jesuit education at Fordham made it possible to not just excel in science, but expand how I saw the world through public service and my mentors. Fordham helped me understand who I wanted to be, a doctor with a holistic human approach. Now that I have my own psychiatry practice, I help people lead better lives every day.
At Lehigh, we don't just want to leave our mark on the world. We want to leave the world better than we found it. We envision possibilities and engineer solutions. We think education should be experiential and experimental. We seek out new ways to connect and collaborate and create a community we can always come home to. At Lehigh, we are built for tomorrow's challenges. Are you?
Your whole home runs on internet, so don't take slow for an answer. Get Optimum Fiber, awarded the fastest and most reliable fiber internet, starting at only $40 a month. Be blown away by speeds 4 times faster than Verizon and 16 times faster than 5G home internet. Act right now and get an unlimited mobile line included for 1 year. And the Disney Plus Hulu bundle basic on us for 6 months. Experience fiber internet starting at $40 a month. Call 888-4Optimum, visit Optimum.com or a store near you.
DeChico & Sons is your grocery destination for curated specialty products, delicious store-made meals, and an exceptional shopping experience. Founded in the Bronx and run by Fordham graduates, we have proudly served our community for over 50 years. Explore our gourmet departments, including an authentic Italian bakery, premium meat selection, fresh produce, and personalized catering services for any event. DeChico & Sons, quality first.
It is family weekend here at Fordham. Lehigh travels well as well, so a great crowd below us here at Moglia Stadium. Andrew Bogish, Andrew Posadas with you, our crew led by the great Robert Dokes and Artie Goodman. We thank them for their hard work. We thank you for watching along with us here on SNY. Lehigh just got in the end zone for the first time this afternoon to push this lead to 10-0. Last 2 offensive possessions for Fordham. They moved the football, but they missed a long field goal and then were denied on 4th down. You like the aggression, you like some of that momentum, but without getting any points, now they find themselves in a 10-point hole.
Yeah, it puts more stress on your defense, and from there, Lehigh goes 14 plays, 79 yards, 8-minute drive that caps off with Hayden Johnson's 3rd rushing touchdown of the season.
Rams have 2 timeouts and 4:21 on the clock before halftime. Connor Poole, who punts for Lehigh, is also their kickoff specialist. Troy Worrell is standing right hash mark at his 1-yard line. Teams haven't always kicked in his direction, and Lehigh doesn't do it here. Vinny Rugai, fair catch on the retreat for Fordham. So out comes Gunnar Smith. He's 5 of 6, 41 yards. But he has been sacked twice. And again, his offense, for different reasons, has failed to put points on the board through their first handful of possessions, playing from behind against a team that loves to play from ahead, the way they run the football and stop the run in these 7-0 Mountain Hawks.
And now that you're down double digits for Lehigh's defense, now they can focus in on this passing attack. If Fordham can't run the ball, and so far, Ricky Parks had that 115-yard run. Aside from that, it's been a little slow. So for Lehigh, now they can focus more of their attention on Gunnar Smith in this passing attack.
Nick Peltekian, who definitely did something to his left arm earlier in this first half, is back on the field for Lehigh. Noden Tracy can't make that catch. The coverage from Aiden Singleton.
Noden comes up a little gimpy there afterwards. He limps back over to the Fordham sideline. Good job there by Aiden Singleton to blow up that pass and break it up over the middle.
Tracy's battled some lower body injuries this year. Rams have very rarely had their full complement of wide receivers available. James out of the backfield is hit immediately by Edwards, and he can't hold on.
Bryson Edwards, one thing he can do is get out in coverage, and he's comfortable covering running backs. And right there, Jamel James, the top pass catcher for this Fordham backfield, out on a flat route, and Bryson Edwards shows great anticipation, great pursuit.
And again, 2 incompletions, only 9 seconds off the clock, and it's 3rd and 10. Smith, long throw, but there's Carter on the end of it for a much-needed first down.
And Gunnar Smith showing off that arm strength. That's not an easy throw, having to go back across the field. And Jabril Carter creates enough separation and gets to the sticks, and Fordham continues this drive.
Now at their own 36. Fordham likes this formation. Wide receiver stack, but it's a run play that's got nowhere to go.
James, the ball carrier. Jaden Nelson with the tackle.
They give the tackle to Jaden Nelson, the defensive tackle. He's just 295 next to the 305 TJ Burke in the middle of that defensive line. Smith back to the air, near sideline. Tracy's got this one in front of the aptly named Ignatius Williams.
That's a beautiful first name.
I mean, and you're going to play at a Jesuit college. Not a
Might
bad
as well.
first name.
And partner, I do like the timing, though, from Gunnar Smith with his wide receivers. The moment they're breaking, whether it's running a hitch, running that comeback, running that stick route, Gunnar Smith has that ball out. He's letting it loose.
3rd and 1, near midfield. James running, puts his shoulder down, gets pushed backwards.
No, James, the ball carrier.
But they're going to give him the first down.
He got the yard and the first down.
Clock is running again, approaching the 2-minute timeout. Johan Lee Lewis spells Jamel James in the backfield. Smith will take a deep shot, hoping for Jack Benton, but that ball is out of bounds. The throw had no chance. Closer to a cheerleader than to the wide receiver.
Yeah, Aiden Singleton there in coverage, stride for stride down the sideline.
2nd and 10.
After this play, we'll get the 2-minute timeout before intermission. Inside pressure from Spatney. Tight end screen. The freshman Morris makes the catch. Flips over Ohoyski right at midfield. And here is that scheduled timeout. Fordham will have 2 of their own to use on the other side. Still looking for their first points of the afternoon here on SNY. I'm not sure if the good doctor himself is here in the Bronx today, but there is a promotional giveaway with Dr. Pepper, and I'm standing next to the doctor's #1 fan. We might have gotten a drink. We might have gotten a koozie pregame. We didn't know there were straw hats.
No, we didn't. I'm not ashamed to say I took multiple Dr. Peppers. They were free. I'm their #1 fan, but those straw hats got to be next on our list.
You know what? Halftime is soon. Feel free to go find one. I'll man the highlights and stats while you're gone. A big 3rd and 7 for Fordham, and it's a conversion. That's been the favorite connection this afternoon. Gunnar Smith to Jabril Carter.
And Jabril Carter doing a nice job. He's just creating separation. These comeback routes, these hitch routes to the sideline, that's been the bread and butter, and Gunnar Smith has been accurate with Jabril Carter every single time.
4 catches, 44 yards for Carter, 9 total completions for Gunnar Smith. Smith under trouble, gets away from Spatney, more trouble behind him, and it's incomplete, almost intercepted. He survived Spatney, threw on the run into trouble, and DJ Brown almost ruined everything. Tyler Ohoyski was slow getting up, so the officials have stopped the clock while he jogs off holding his left hip for Lehigh.
Could have ended in disaster, but Gunnar Smith shedding that tackle in the backfield and trying to get something to Jaden Allen, but as you noted, DJ Brown was that close from a potential pick 6.
Smith threw an interception in the end zone that hurt the Rams a week ago. They've had 2 empty trips on a missed field goal and a 4th down stop. Desperately looking for some points here before halftime. Again, Smith has traffic around him. Noden Tracy with a diving catch on the comeback inside the 30.
And that pocket was collapsing quickly on Gunnar Smith, but he unleashes a great throw across the field, and Noden Tracy, a nice diving catch over DJ Brown.
Tough throw, put it where only Tracy could get it, with Brown coming over his shoulder. Still 2 timeouts, clock running, 1:15 before halftime. Ricky Parks puts his head down and maybe gets a yard on 3rd and 2. And Joe Conlon will use his second timeout.
Second charge timeout. Be a 30-second timeout.
We talked about James Conway. He has 11 tackles on one side. Bryce Edwards has been just as active. He leads Lehigh right now. He has 7 tackles after that last stop.
So here's my question for you in the never-ending clock management debate. Do you not call your timeout immediately there? Because you're in danger now of giving Lehigh the football back with time and multiple timeouts to do something after you do something here. They called that timeout right away, Fordham did, and now whatever happens here on 4th and 1, and it appears that they're going to go for it, if they don't get this, it's good field position, it's plenty of time, and it's 3 Lehigh timeouts.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's a result of playing up-tempo. When you play fast, unfortunately, even in a 2-minute drill, you can still leave time for your opponent.
Or you just let that time run off, force Lehigh to take a timeout. Doesn't matter now. It's 4th down. It's Smith, surrounded, and down he goes. The 2 big guys came through, Burke and Nelson. Peltekian helped as well, and Lehigh stops Fordham on 4th down again.
And they got pressure in the backfield throughout this entire drive. Fordham still able to get it upfield, but right there, 3 Mountain Hawks there to bring Gunnar Smith down as TJ Burke celebrates after the sack.
3rd time sacked in this first half. 2nd time denied in plus territory on 4th down. So still a 0 on the scoreboard for the Rams. And now they've got to play defense. A minute on the clock and 3 timeouts for Lehigh. And the Rams right now left the sideline with too many players. They are good now, it appears. But a chance for Lehigh off the defensive stop to run away and hide before halftime. Johnson to the air, Feaster the catch and the run across midfield. Anthony Feaster, a freshman from New Jersey, makes his first catch of the afternoon. And Lehigh just keeps chugging. Johnson slings one, but he misses DeVito. Good coverage from Alex Kemper.
Yeah, playing some up-tempo of their own. And How about that for Feaster? Only had one catch for 11 yards last time out against Columbia. Big gain there on his first catch for Lehigh.
Second and 10 at the Fordham 47.
Nick Garrido's long field goal this year is just 38 yards, so presumably they've got a ways to go to get into his range here before halftime. Johnson throwing again, Feaster catching again. Out of bounds he goes, stopping the clock. Plus there's a flag thrown from deep in the secondary. The back judge threw it. James Moscarello is the back judge. He just got to Antonio Marcella to explain his call.
Offense. Replay. Get out.
So offensive pass interference is going to back Lehigh up. I did not, with the mic cutting out, did not hear who the call was against.
And the way Mason Humphrey's looking at the official, wonder if it was a potential pick play that they got Humphrey on for an OPI, or either that or just some sort of contact to create separation during that route.
But the flag was thrown from so far down the field, and Feaster was so by himself.
Yeah.
I wonder how that could have been OPI that far away from the pass. Either way, Fordham will take it. 2nd and 25 for Lehigh. They're going to stay aggressive throwing. Jamil a catch. Dumped immediately by Johnson. And now Kevin Cahill will call his first timeout, I believe.
Lehigh. In a first charge timeout. 30 seconds.
It is a Lehigh timeout. 34 seconds on the clock. They're at their own 45, and as you can see, it's 3rd and 18. This Fordham defense has had some small wins in this game, holding Lehigh to a field goal, getting a missed field goal. If they can keep Lehigh from scoring here before halftime, that will be another one.
Yeah, it's a huge win. They get the ball to receive the second half. So for Joe Conlon, he's hoping his defense can give him one last stand, and then from there take the next 15 minutes, talk it over, and see if you can't jumpstart the offense, which has had the ability to move down the field. They just haven't been able to cash out on the scoreboard.
3rd and 18. Fordham only sends 3. Johnson buying himself some time. Being chased from behind, he gets it away. Back at the original line of scrimmage, Jaden Green makes the catch out of bounds. 26 seconds on the clock. Lehigh's got a punt, and they will.
And if you're going to have Hayden Johnson throw on the run, you want to push him to his left. It's a much more uncomfortable throw for a quarterback who's a righty, having to swivel the hips and set up again.
Jack Freeberg goes back to return. Connor Poole will kick it away for Lehigh. Poole, plenty of time, angling this one. It checks up at the 5-yard line. That's a Lehigh bounce, a backspin from Poole. It's a nice approach shot in the golf course.
I mean, he dropped it in a pool right there. That was a nice splash.
Left it pin high at the 9-yard line. And I'm assuming this will be a kneel, and we'll go to halftime. Just 10-0 Lehigh. The Mountain Hawks, I guess, have had the better of the play. They've had the ball for 6 more minutes. They've gotten the ball into a few more threatening positions than Fordham has. But a missed field goal, and now that OPI that kind of knocked them back away from the outskirts of field goal range. Just these 10 points for them.
Yeah, I was going to bring up penalties. Fordham had 8 in the loss at Dartmouth. They've had 0 here in the first half. Lehigh, they have all 3 penalties on their side.
Well, there is the knee from Gunnar Smith. And I don't know why. The players are still standing out there. Both sidelines are ready to leave. And there it is. It's halftime here in the Bronx. Lehigh, number 7 in the country. We have seen their muscles on defense. It'll be Fordham football in the third quarter. Coming up, though, here at halftime, more on Fordham stud linebacker James Conway on the verge of history tackling-wise, but a great honor for him as well. That's the lone touchdown so far at the break in the Bronx. It's 10-0 Lehigh.
Until the fourth quarter. You know, I thought the boys played hard, you know, going to half 6-6 against defending Ivy League champions. Like, there's no moral victories, but I thought the boys really competed and played well.
Yeah, and an out-of-conference game, middle of the season, just how much is that kind of nice for the team to have some mid-season tune-ups and kind of prepare you for the rest of conference play?
Well, it's good to play against good comp, and, you know, you're playing a team with a really good running game, good offensive and defensive line, so you know, teams like that keep you sharp and make you earn everything. So hopefully it kind of sharpens the sword for the back half of the season.
And similar to last week, this weekend, family weekend, crowds should be just as packed as last weekend. How much do you think that you guys will feed off of the crowd, and what's the kind of the mentality going into a game where there's so much buzz on campus?
Sure. I mean, guys love playing at home, and they love playing in front of our fans, and we always have a great atmosphere. So, you got a heck of a Lehigh team coming in, so it should be a great time.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
I'm now joined by Fordham linebacker James Conway. James, you lead the entire nation, both FCS and FBS, in tackles this season. What has kind of allowed you to take that leap and play so good on the field this season?
I think obviously a very talented defensive line playing in front of me, which is helpful. Played a decent amount of snaps this year, so of course that helps too, and just running to the ball the best I can.
Nominated for the Campbell Trophy, following in former Fordham linebacker Ryan Greenhagen's footsteps there, a trophy that awards academic excellence, on-field performance, and leadership. Just how high of an honor is that to you?
Yeah, it's a great honor. Feel a lot of gratitude. I just love being here, surrounded by teammates like Ryan and now a coach, and the rest of the team and the coaching staff and professors. So yeah, it's a great honor.
Lehigh coming into town this week, and a team who's undefeated this season, 7-0 overall, 2-0 in conference play, up towards the top in the standings in the Patriot League. What's kind of your mentality going into a game against a team that's been playing so well?
Yeah, I think it just kind of lights the fire. It's a great opportunity to play a good football team, and I think all the guys are juiced up, and we're excited for it. So yeah.
Thanks, James. Good luck this weekend.
Of course. Thank you.
University, where Lehigh leads the Rams 10-0 at intermission. The William Campbell Trophy, for all intents and purposes, is the academic Heisman. It honors a student athlete for his performance in the classroom, on the field, and his leadership skills. Fordham's James Conway is a finalist this year. Here's the moment his head coach, Joe Conlon, made the announcement at practice this week.
All right, there is an award in college football. All right, it's arguably the most prestigious award given nationally. All right, it is the Heisman Trophy of academics. It's called the Campbell Award. Right, it's given to a very impressive student athlete. That also excels in the classroom. Previous winners, Justin Herbert was a previous winner, right? A long list of very, very impressive student athletes have won this award. And the finalists came out today. James Conway.
Well, I don't have much to say, but it's an honor, so thank you. I love playing with you guys. I love coming to work every day. Let's have a great couple days of preparation and have a great game this weekend. Love you, boys.
James, what did Coach Cullen tell you when you first arrived here at Fordham?
He pretty much told me to follow Mr. Greenhagen here.
And I guess you did everything from diet to working out, and now the last step is being a finalist for the Walter Campbell Award.
Surpassed it.
Oh, how does it feel to be a finalist for such a prestigious award?
Yeah, it's a great honor. I'm very honored and just proud and happy, yeah.
Looking forward to going to Vegas?
Yeah, I think so. It'll be a great time.
Great.
He gets a scholarship for post-grad work as part of this, plus a trip to Vegas to find out who the actual winner of the Campbell Trophy is. That'll be in December, but congrats to just being a finalist, like his buddy Ryan Greenhagen, who was right next to him at the end of that last video. We'll come back with highlights and stats from that first half of Fordham and Lehigh right after this on SNY. Andrew Bogish and Andrew Posadas back with you live atop Moglia Stadium here at Fordham University. The third quarter is on the way. First things first, though, the first quarter and the second quarter here in the Bronx. This Lehigh attack is best known, partner, for its run game, but we saw some damage to the air in that first half.
Yeah, Mason Humphrey, 3 receptions, 56 yards in the first half. That led Lehigh's offense. And that rushing attack, though, still as good as advertised. Hayden Johnson scores his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season. As for Fordham, Gunnar Smith completed 10 of his 15 first-half passes, but got sacked 3 times as T.J. Burke came in on that 3rd. And that's how we've gotten to Fordham being down by 10 here at the half.
10-0 on the scoreboard. Here are your first half stats. Nothing necessarily jumps out except actually what's not out there, the 0 for 2 on 4th down for Fordham in Lehigh territory. Part of the reason why they got that 0 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, also when you look at the rushing attacks, 88 yards as a team for Lehigh, but for Fordham, they're averaging less than 2 yards per rush. That's got to change if they're going to create more of a balance and have some of those drives we saw in the first half.
One more timeout, and then the third quarter. Fordham, Lehigh on the way on SNY. Boomer Grigsby for the most in FCS history.
Yeah, one tackle away from cementing his legacy as the all-time leading tackles in FCS history. And you know what? Knowing Jimmy and knowing how much of a team-first guy he is and his personality, all he cares about is getting Fordham out of this 10-0 hole. Breaking the record is inconsequential, but again, history is history, and we must acknowledge it.
But down 10 points to the number 7 team in the country with the football to begin the third quarter at home is not worst-case scenario by any stretch for Fordham. So let's see what this offense can do. They have shown some signs here. They have moved the ball on a defense that's top 10 in FCS in multiple categories. It's just been putting points on the board that have been the problem. They missed a 51-yard field goal, and they were stopped twice on fourth down. The second one coming late in the first half, which robbed them a chance of doubling up.
Yeah.
They maybe could have found points end of the second quarter and then scored again here early third to make this game that much different.
Yeah, unfortunately, the run game has still been anemic, but in that second quarter, 62 passing yards, so Gunnar Smith starting to find his rhythm.
They're running to start the third, and maybe there is a yard for Ricky Parks. Jaden Nelson, TJ Burke, the two big bodies in the middle there for Lehigh. They have messed up a lot for the Fordham run game so far this afternoon. The Lehigh gold helmets, by the way, they might have noticed, didn't wear them for a couple of years. 2021 was the last time they put them on before this year, and now they've been wearing those in Patriot League play. Gunnar Smith has people all around his feet, somehow escapes. Now he's going to run with a seam to get close to the first down, then the ball came out. He's saying he's down, but the far side official just gave the football to Lehigh.
We'll take another look at it. Gunnar Smith almost gets sacked by TJ Burke in the backfield and is able to shed that. And he's made Lehigh pay with his legs, but right here, it looks like his right knee goes down before that ball pops out. As Gunnar Smith, good slide there, moves forward, gets enough, and that right knee down.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. Previous play is under review.
That was a very discreet turnover signal by the official, but on that first look, it certainly seems like Gunnar Smith's left leg, left shin down before that ball is out. This is the first time that Warren Gillis has buzzed down to intervene. Mason Moore, number 16, coming in. That's not the best look. I think the first one from the side is what's going to tell us for real. So again, here he comes. There's the leg down, and that ball still seems to be in control for Gunnar Smith, maybe by a nanosecond. But I think Fordham's going to keep the football here.
Yeah, that right knee goes down before he fumbles that ball away. It's a good tackle, but Gunnar Smith, again, using his legs for good. That's a positive gain. And after this review, Fordham should still have the ball, and it should be a fresh set of downs.
We did not have a true turnover in the first half. A couple of fourth down stops, but no actual giveaways. Mason Moore, who for the moment has that strip of Gunnar Smith. We were near him in the secondary as they came out for warm-ups before the game. And Coach Cahill told us from the week that Mason plays with a ton of energy. Mason also warms up with a ton of energy. He was singing, dancing, talking to himself, getting his team ready. And you said this, they came onto the field about 90 minutes before the opening kickoff like a team that was 7-0.
Yes, they carry themselves, conduct themselves like an undefeated team, as we'll get the ruling here.
The runner was down at the 35-yard line. First down, Fordham.
So Fordham, as expected, keeps the football and gets a first down thanks to the feet of Gunnar Smith. But, yeah, Lehigh came out. They announced themselves. They were yelling. Yep. The defense came out first, made some noise, and another position group came out, made more noise, which made the first guys make more noise back to them. They were dudes hooting and hollering and bouncing around. A lot of confidence, and deservedly so for this team that's perfect so far this season. Jamel James has done the most damage on the ground so far for Fordham. Falls ahead for a couple on first down here.
Tripped up by 2.
James running again, pushing his way through contact near the 40-yard line. I think that was Bryson Edwards that he fought himself through to add a yard or two. 3rd and 6 for Fordham.
Yeah, 9 tackles now for Bryson Edwards.
5 wide receivers for Gunnar Smith. He was alone. Now James joins him in the backfield. Up the middle they come, and down goes Gunnar Smith again. I think that was Edwards darting through to get the sack.
And what a drive here by Bryson Edwards, just all over the place, active, and shoots out like a missile right down the middle, and Gunnar Smith just not enough time to react. He has no choice but to eat that sack.
4 sacks now for Lehigh. They came in the number 1 sack defense in the Patriot League. They're adding to that total, and I guess not surprisingly, taking advantage of a Fordham offensive line that has struggled keeping the opposition out of the offensive backfield. Rams give up 7.7 tackles for loss per game, one of the worst numbers in FCS. Peltekian with a lot of room. Another heavy block near midfield. More flags. Peltekian is down across midfield, but that was Chris Tuck that got absolutely leveled. Tuck is up with a flex jogging off, but he got drilled. Never saw it coming.
I think it was Joshua Jones there with the blindside tackle right near midfield. We'll take another look at it.
Number 2.
Yep.
Here comes
During
Tuck.
return, personal foul, blindside block. Receiving team, number 2. 15 yards from the spot of the foul. First down. Lehigh.
That's the second such penalty against Lehigh today. It'll back him up 15 yards, and thankfully Tuck got up and got off the field. So the Mountain Hawks will back up and then play offense for the first time in this second half. Right after this on SNY.
Kids grow up fast, but with the money you earn from your PenFed checking and savings accounts, you can be there to support them through every stage of life. I got it.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
The Patriot League on ESPN is on Instagram. Championship moments, amazing highlights, behind-the-scenes coverage, and features on the best and brightest student athletes in the NCAA. Follow us at Patriot League today.
The Patriot League is dedicated to the development of the student athlete through excellence in athletic competition, challenging academics, personal growth, and contributions within their communities. The Patriot League places among the NCAA leaders in graduation rates annually, with graduates moving on to serve in all facets of society by using their talents and voices for positive change. We are today's scholar athletes. We are tomorrow's leaders. We are the Patriot League.
PenFed Credit Union, we help our members make the most of their personal finances so they can make the most of their dreams.
PenFed's got great rates for everyone.
There's James Conway bouncing back on the field. First time we've seen him since halftime, and again, his next tackle makes him number 1 all-time in FCS history. On 550 right now, tying Illinois State's Boomer Grigsby. 11 tackles today to be on the verge of history. Jaden Green is running near Conway on the cutback who will avoid him. And then knocked down from behind. Good pursuit, Jack Lowe, John Scott, and Jalen Dalston, Fordham's young linebacker, all around the football there.
Yeah, that's a tough move. Jaden Green having to use that juke, trying to get away from James Conway, and is able to wiggle his way up the middle for 4 yards.
2nd and 6.
Luke Yoder, a team high 61 rushing yards in the first half for Lehigh, but not on the field to begin this drive. The tight end Marenka with a catch, wrestled down by Nate Lindsey Gill, but that's a Lehigh first down.
Johnson's pass complete to Joseph Marenka.
Marenka only has 6 receptions. That's his 7th catch of the season. Last time out, didn't catch a ball. I mean, 3 times this season, he's gone without a catch. So if you can get him involved in this passing game, that only helps Hayden Johnson, giving him more options.
Another formation here with the 2 quarterbacks, and once again, like in the first half, Johnson motions to the right of Matt Mahalik. Ran it once, threw it once in the first half. He's running here, and Conway is on his hip.
Matt Mahalik, ball carrier, tackled by James Conway.
I think they just announced They just announced officially that James Conway got that tackle. We were waiting up here to hear the press box announcement, and it comes for James Conway.
History made for James Conway, the all-time tackles leader in FCS history.
Johnson slings it. Jamil has it go through his hands.
And how about the resume, partner? All-time tackles leader in Fordham history, in Patriot League history, and with this tackle on Matt Mahalik, the all-time tackles leader in FCS history, James Conway. What a resume.
And typical of Conway, it's in the muck of the line. He's got a blocker on one side. He fights through that and then gets the running back down for the historic tackle.
I mean, partner, following Ryan Greenhagen was a hard act. What's it going to be like trying to follow what James Conway has done for Fordham?
Well, they love Jalen Dawson a lot on this coaching staff, but these are huge cleats to fill, and it really goes to say, too, this program, Drew Minnick just ran over Hayden Johnson, but it doesn't matter. He throws a strike to a slanting Matt DeVino. It's a huge gain into Fordham territory with a first down.
And Hayden Johnson knew that there was fire coming through the A-gap with Minich on that blitz. He knows he's going to take a huge hit, but unloads a throw. And DeVino, tall receiver, put it up high, let him use his catch radius. Big play by this Lehigh offense.
With the safety blitz, a free run, and Johnson stands in there and makes that throw. Inside the 40 now in Fordham territory. Yoder cut it back into the middle, and Dawson brings him down with Andrew Osman low on the veteran running back.
Yoder, the ball carrier. Brought down by Jalen Dawson.
So James Conway needed 12. He's got 12 with a whole half of football still to go. And, you know, his head coach, Joe Conlon, was a pretty good defensive lineman at Pitt. And we asked him just how inconceivable 500-plus tackles are. And he said, you know, I played starting in 7th grade, so I don't think I had 500 tackles. Down the field, Jamil falling with the catch inside the 10 with Osman trailing in coverage.
And I don't think Jeffrey Jamil was happy with himself. Had dropped the pass on the previous play. Instead, ones up himself. How about that? Diving towards his back. And how about this? Just so hard to track this ball, having to turn your body away and landing on his back, catching that. Jeffrey Jamil, just a great route run, and Lehigh in business inside the 10.
Plenty of time for Johnson to make that throw, a slightly better throw, and Jamil's in the end zone with 6. Instead, it's 1st and goal from the 7. Yoder gets the call, trying to get to the edge. He does, and into the end zone he goes for a Lehigh touchdown.
Luke Yoder, 7-yard touchdown run.
7th rushing touchdown this season for Luke Yoder, and it pushes the Lehigh lead to 16-0.
And partner, with that rush, now dating back to 2023, 28 straight games where this Lehigh offense has rushed for over 100 yards.
Hasn't really mattered who's been blocking, who's been running, although it's been Yoder for 3 years now. There's the extra point. It's a 17-0 Lehigh lead. The defense continues to pitch the shutout, and now the offense making a habit of getting into the end zone. They get close with Jamil. They get in with Yoder, and they lead by 17 in the Bronx.
All right.
.51, becoming number 1 all-time in FCS history. But now there's a new list to look at because he's got a chance in all of Division I to make more history before this season is over.
And could make more history in this game. He's 5 tackles away from passing Nick Jackson for second all-time in tackles around the Division I career. And with how active James Conway can be, that number 1 by Marshall, that's still in sight too. But first, Fordham having to deal with this deficit down by 17.
It's Worrell from his own goal line, not getting back to the 20-yard line. I started to make this point and tell the story during Lehigh's last possession when we asked Joe Conlon, a defensive player in his own right, what 500-plus tackles is like. And he said, I don't think I had 500 in my entire 10-year playing career of middle school, high school, and college.
Yeah, you just don't see it. I mean, Joe Conlon has seen a lot of great players, especially on the defensive side, but to have 2 middle linebackers, the quarterback of your defense, to have Ryan Greenhagen and James Conway back-to-back, I mean, if you're a head coach, you couldn't ask for much more over an 8-year period of time from such a crucial position.
Yeah, Joe Conlon is a humble guy. He's not going to talk about himself, but it says a lot about his program that they've had 2 young men, players and people back-to-back in Ryan Greenhagen and James Conway. The tackles, the leadership, both of them Campbell Trophy finalists. They both stayed here. Ryan Greenhagen is still here coaching. It says a lot about the program that man has created and run over the last 8 years. A short run after an incompletion, so this will be 3rd and 6 for Fordham. 17-0 in and of itself. I mean, it's a big hole in the second half, but it feels more like 27 or 37 against this Lehigh team, the way they play defense and then the way they can control the clock once they get the ball back. This is a mandatory conversion on third down, and Carter can't make a tough catch. Good coverage by Singleton. Maybe the throw wasn't perfect, but the defense, the best part of that for Lehigh.
Yeah, it's good anticipation by Singleton. Seeing that break on the slant, and he jumps on it and forces that breakup as Gunnar Smith really led Jabril Carter, maybe should have let him on just a bit more to allow a potential run after the catch.
And again, with the inability to run the ball consistently, Fordham is on and off the field very, very fast offensively. Obviously, the first concern is just staying down by 17 points. But the other part of this is that now the defense that was just out there for a while has to go right back out there. Peltekian kept his feet. He has been a danger returning the football today, and he's across the 50 back into plus territory.
Aside from a couple of penalties during punt returns and during kick returns, just a great job by Lehigh to get good field position throughout this game.
We'll take the timeout with them midway through quarter number 3. Lehigh with the football, up 17 on SNY.
I came to New York City from the Dominican Republic. I was a math and science kid, and the Jesuit education at Fordham made it possible to not just excel in science, but expand how I saw the world through public service and my mentors. Fordham helped me understand who I wanted to be, a doctor with a holistic human approach. Now that I have my own psychiatry practice, I help people lead better lives every day.
At Lehigh, we don't just want to leave our mark on the world. We want to leave the world better than we found it. We envision possibilities and engineer solutions. We think education should be experiential and experimental. We seek out new ways to connect and collaborate, and create a community we can always come home to. At Lehigh, we are built for tomorrow's challenges. Are you?
Your whole home runs on internet, so don't take slow for an answer. Get Optimum Fiber, awarded the fastest and most reliable fiber internet, starting at only $40 a month. Be blown away by speeds 4 times faster than Verizon and 16 times faster than 5G home internet. Act right now and get an unlimited mobile line included for 1 year. And the Disney Plus Hulu bundle basic on us for 6 months. Experience fiber internet starting at $40 a month. Call 888-4Optimum, visit Optimum.com or a store near you.
DeChico & Sons is your grocery destination for curated specialty products, delicious store-made meals, and an exceptional shopping experience. Founded in the Bronx and run by Fordham graduates, we have proudly served our community for over 50 years. Explore our gourmet departments, including an authentic Italian bakery, premium meat selection, fresh produce, and personalized catering services for any event. DeChico & Sons, quality first.
On the Lehigh sideline, they are currently enjoying things, looking for their 8th win to start this season. It would be their 13th consecutive regular season win under Kevin Cahill, who took over a team that had won 2 games.
Yep.
They won 9 last year. They're in position to win number 8 already this year. It has been a remarkably quick turnaround, an impressive one, and then you throw on the fact, as we said at the top of the broadcast, he's doing this today against one of his best friends in the world in Fordham head coach Joe Conlon.
And if you ask Joe Conlon, he's not shocked at this turnaround. He knows how good of a coach Kevin Cahill is, and in our conversation with him said that Kevin Cahill should have been a head coach even before the Lehigh job.
They want to run a reverse, give it back to Johnson, throwing to Mahalik, who was open, and it's incomplete. Both quarterbacks out there. It went to Green, then to Johnson. And Mahalik breaks out, and he's open, but Johnson misses him. And look at the entire sideline wanted that one for the Mountain Hawks.
Yeah, Lehigh was going for the jugular there. A perfectly executed trick play, just a bit overthrown to Mahalik.
To your point, Joe Conlon told us during the week that more than one school had called him looking for a head coach, asking about Coach Cahill. I don't know if all of those schools were inside the Patriot League, but Coach Conlon might be hoping, wishing that If they weren't, they had hired Coach Cahill, and he wasn't here at Lehigh to directly inflict the wounds of another win. A 3rd and 9 coming up here for the Mountain Hawks. Time for Johnson to throw for a moment. Conway pushed him out of the pocket, and how about that catch? That's Feaster reaching behind inside the 30 for a first down.
And Conway comes off the blitz, but Hayden Johnson gets out of the pocket, climbs up, and how about this throw on the run for Feaster, who only had a catch last time out, and now 2 catches, 34 yards. Great bounce back. He's seen some open looks, sitting in the zone. He's made some good catches.
Johnson keeps it. And he's inside right to the 20-yard line. That's where they'll mark him down. He's now 13 of 21 throwing, 195 yards. He came into today in a 5-game stretch with 10 touchdowns, no interceptions, and no sacks as well,
No
right?
sacks. Yeah, he's had a clean pocket. And Hayden Johnson, I think one thing we've spoken about with Kevin Cahill, his development, his decision-making, it's much better, much cleaner. He understands when to tuck it and run and when to take those shots down the field.
They knew he was the next guy last year. So kind of like Mahalik, with maybe less of a plan, they put him out there in every game last year to give him reps, to give him time to learn, to figure things out as Green squirts free, the bounce to the outside, and just turned backwards near the goal line. A tremendous run from Jaden Green, and now a flag is thrown very late. That was a vicious tackle. Bodies flying. Green got bent backwards, and I think maybe
Play. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 42, Fordham. Half the distance from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
So it's on Jack Lowe. The official pointed in the wrong direction making his announcement. I thought the bounce to the outside was going to get Green in, but Kemper sheds the block, makes the tackle, bodies are flying, and then that's the flag there on Lowe, pushing the offensive lineman, Sammy Ayash, who came over for Lehigh.
Yeah, you can see the officials blowing that play dead right by the sideline as Lehigh will get right up to the line of scrimmage.
And get right into the end zone. Jaden Green scores it. And the Mountain Hawk lead grows here in the Bronx.
Yeah, it's Jaden Green's 6th rushing touchdown of the season, and really his best career game came against Fordham back last season, had 147 yards on the ground, and over this drive really left his mark, which leads to 6.
Extra points perfect from Nick Garrido. And now Lehigh leads 24-0. It was a 10-0 game at halftime. Fordham hanging on against an unbeaten team, number 7 in the nation. But Lehigh's continued impressive defensive work now turning into points offensively. And the Mountain Hawks have this game in their back pocket right now with still 20 minutes of game time left.
And after that unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Jack Lowe, wasted little time, handoff to Jaden Green for the dive, and Fordham's defense early on bending but not breaking, but because of these 3 and outs and what Fordham's offense really sputtering over their last 5 possessions going back to the second quarter, that's put more strain on this Fordham defense. They've had to be out there for more reps, and with this Lehigh offense and what they can do in the trenches, that spells bad news, and they finally started to dominate on both sides.
It feels a little bit like last week's game against Dartmouth, which was, 16-13 in the third quarter, going to the fourth, and then Dartmouth tacked on 2 late touchdowns and won 30-13. This kickoff goes out of bounds shy of the front pylon, a mistake by Poole, the punter. So decent starting position here for Fordham. But, this is This is not what folks in the Bronx are used to. The beginning of Joe Conlon's tenure, the coaches before him, like Joe Moorhead, this program was always about offense.
Yes.
Whether it was Chase Edmonds, Tim DeMorad, Kevin Eakin, you can pick and go back and remember the stud offensive players that this program has had. Offense was never the problem. It was always matching enough defense with all of that offense to win the most important games of the year. But now, for a second straight year, this offense has just not been good enough. Gunnar Smith throwing, deflected up in the air and almost intercepted. Intended for Freeburg. Now, last year, the struggles on offense were in line with an early knee injury to C.J. Montez that knocked him out after a very stellar campaign back in 2023. Jack Capaldi did his absolute best coming in, but the offensive line struggled. There were times where Jack just had no chance whatsoever to do anything. This year, Gunnar Smith is a better quarterback than Jack Capaldi. They went and got him to be the starter. He took control of the job, but still for different reasons, whether it's been the offensive line, it's the running backs, it's execution, it's injuries, this team cannot run the football. And it prevents them from being as dangerous as they want to be in the air. And right now, they're kind of easy to game plan for and defend.
No, you're right. They become predictable, and now for opposing defenses, you can really just sit in a matchup zone and keep everything in front of you, knowing that Fordham isn't going to beat you with the run. Now you can exert all your energy on the passing attack.
It's another 3rd and long. They bring pressure. Smith gets away from it, plus the stiff arm, and the second and third efforts are good enough to get a first down. Needed 11, let's give him 13, and the chains move.
Yeah, great heart there shown by Gunnar, finishing that runoff, escaping that pressure by T.J. Burke. And how about the stiff arm on Aiden Singleton before he gets out of bounds for the first down?
Smith can reset his feet, makes a long throw to the outside, incomplete. Jack Benton went diving for it. Jaden Allen, the tight end, was over there as well.
Smith intended for Benton incomplete.
Lehigh really only rushing 3 or 4 on these early downs, playing coverage as they should with this big lead, getting late in the 3rd quarter. That's batted down at the line. Ohoyski.
A partner with Ohoyski and Philemon on the edges. That really opens up for that 3-man rush. You can work on the interior knowing you have 2 guys on the edge who have to get the tackle's attentions at all times. I think that really helps out guys like Spatney, guys like Burke to really work those A and B gaps.
On this look, Ohoyski's behind the defensive line. Burke at 3:05 wants to rush from the right end spot. Ohoyski has played standing up in the past, but is more of a defensive end this year because it's what they needed. He's looking for a place to get through now as Smith steps up, escaping again, moving again. Does not shy away from contact and should move the chains again.
And Lehigh this time had Mekhi Smith playing that spiral over the middle, but Gunnar Smith finds space and is able to at least make a move to shake off Smith and get himself over the line for the first down.
Fordham at the Lehigh 44.
Rams have threatened to score more than once this afternoon, but Bennett Henderson missed a 51-yard field goal back in the first half, and they were denied twice on 4th down in Lehigh territory. Slanting over the middle, Benton makes a catch, sitting down inside the 30.
Didn't make a grab against Dartmouth, but he's been open over the seam. Didn't get that previous catch, but right there makes a good gain, and Fordham inside the 30.
No Ricky Gonzalez again today for Fordham. KJ Reed, long-term lower body injury. So a lot of new names out there, but Gunnar Smith uses all of them. Off the pump fake, Jaden Allen! Does he hang on inside the 10? He does!
Jaden Allen coming off his best game of the season. He had 3 catches, 43 yards, and a 31-yard reception against Dartmouth. Only had 3 receptions in the previous 2 games. Good to see him there, active over the middle.
Final 2 minutes of the third quarter. Fordham trying to make this one as interesting as possible on family weekend here in the Bronx. A 10-0 game at halftime, opened up by Lehigh. Johan Lee Lewis takes a shoulder and goes backwards. There's Makai Smith in those pink cleats.
And he's a heavy hitter, partner, just comes right down. And that's what you love about safety. Safeties aren't afraid. Do they want to stand back in the deep third for coverage? But when you tell them to step into that next level, right to the line of scrimmage, and lay a hat on someone, that's when they're at their best.
Smith pretty good, though, in coverage. 4 interceptions this season, including a streak of 3 straight games with an INT. Gunnar Smith looking for somebody, and finally just throws it away. Matt Spatney goes off to the far sideline, rips off his helmet. I think he thought about throwing it out of frustration for not getting the sack.
Yeah, he missed him. Bryson Edwards, though, closes that out, and Gunnar Smith tries his best to extend it for as long as he can before he throws that away. As we'll see a late penalty flag thrown after the play.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 10, Lehigh. Half the distance from the original line of scrimmage, automatic first down.
That's William Parton.
That's number 10's first unsportsmanlike.
One of their linebackers, their starting linebacker next to Bryson Edwards, did not see what he did. But that's going to be maybe the first thing on Kevin Cahill's list of complaints today. Too many flags and significant ones against his team this afternoon.
Yeah, we haven't called Parton's name often. He only has 1 tackle, but he came into this game second in total tackles behind Edwards.
Ricky Parks goes straight ahead with a push now from his offensive line. The spot will be inside the 3 on what was first and goal from the 4.
Cole Hughes, Jaden Nelson in on the stop. A gain of 2. Second and goal at the 2.
Parks running again, undercut, and they've got him down shy of the goal line.
Parks on the carry, tripped up by
Hoyski went low. Fordham gets right back to the line of scrimmage. Here's that touch push that you mentioned the first half. But a flag is called, or thrown, I should say.
Offside, defense with contact. Half the distance, third down.
So that's why the play doesn't happen. Cooper LaFond, who was injured last week, playing today, got up slowly, but he's back for this again. And there's the signal for a Fordham touchdown. Their first points of the afternoon come late in the third quarter.
And that's got to feel great for the Fordham faithful. They've seen some good drives from this Fordham offense. They haven't been able to cash in and make it into fruition on the scoreboard. But right there, a little bit of the tush push gets it done.
Rams are going to go for 2. Kind of have to in this situation to try to get 8 points instead of 7. We can actually hear the play being called in from the booth next to us.
Not that we know what they're talking about. That's hieroglyphics.
Absolutely. Two-point conversion is a throw, and it's caught. Ricky Parks has it, but a flag is thrown right where Gunnar Smith threw it.
72 offense. It's a 10-yard penalty, retry.
Cooper LaFond called for a hold.
It looks like he was grabbing Ohoyski in the backfield to give Gunnar Smith enough time to find Ricky Parks on that angle route.
Ohoyski celebrated by making the hold signal by himself before a referee did. And Fordham is still going to go for 2 here because why not? Being 6 or 7 points doesn't matter now. 8 is what you need.
And if you can get the 2, it's still a 2-possession game. You're down 16.
Jamel James is in the backfield. Throwing again to the end zone. And there's a flag on the defender. DJ Brown was hooking Jack Benton.
Conversion try was intended for Benton.
This is a never-ending two-point try.
We'll take another look here. As you noted,
Pass
DJ Brown in
interference.
coverage.
Defense, number 20. Ball be placed at the 2-yard line. Retry.
So now we're basically back to where we started.
Yeah, at least the officials got their steps in for the day. I'm sure that'll do it. And partner, if I'm Fordham, you're back in the same spot originally. Maybe get Ricky Parks on another route, whether it's a flat, whether it's an angle. See if you can't get him for a catch out of the backfield.
Yeah, I don't think you can run it, though, against this Lehigh defense. It's got to be a throw. And it will be with pressure up the middle. Gunnar Smith loses the football. That's a live ball. Peltecki able to scoop it. The tackle from Freeburg to deny any more points. But after all of that, 2 flags, a strip, and no conversion for Fordham.
Yeah, and I talked about getting Parks on a flat route. Parks runs that flat route to the left side, but that gets stuffed up. Great coverage, and that forces Gunnar Smith to have to move to his left with the pressure. Unfortunately, nobody there, and a great strip sack. And how about Freeburg at least saving 2 points on the board for Fordham?
Still 15 seconds, of course, the clock not moving on a 2-point try. So at least a kickoff and a play or two before the third quarter becomes the fourth here in the Bronx. Rams finally able to get in the end zone on the tush push with Gunnar Smith. No 2-point conversion, and now they need their defense to get off the field as quickly as possible. And again, it's a defense, we said this last week, and then they proved us wrong. It's a defense that doesn't take the ball away often. That's not helpful either. Henderson's kick goes out of bounds. So each kickoff, each kicker
out of bounds.
has been
Ball
guilty
be placed at the 35-yard line.
of this afternoon. A 35-yard line start now for the Mountain Hawks.
And you mentioned the lack of turnovers. This Fordham defense, they haven't had a sack in 2 games. So as Coach Conlon was telling us leading up to this game, they need to get more pressure on the quarterback. And unfortunately, they aren't getting that with 4. That means you got to send more guys blitz. And unfortunately, that's going to open up some play action and maybe a deep pass over the top for Jamil.
Lehigh, meanwhile, 2 of the main reasons why they are 7-0 is because they protect their quarterback and they run the ball so well. 236 per game, the 6th best number in FCS.
That is the end of the third quarter.
And they've only allowed 2 sacks this season. And with that run, we'll walk off to the fourth quarter in the Bronx. The Rams are on the board with a push for Gunnar Smith, but it's still Lehigh in control on SNY.
Please welcome to the field the Fordham cheer team.
back with you here live on SNY. Fordham and number 7 Lehigh, the Mountain Hawks, with a 24-6 lead, and they're pretty good at getting to the finish line for a number of reasons, but because they run the football like this, they know how to get this one done this afternoon.
Yeah, this group of Hawks don't spend much time in the air flapping their wings. They get their game on the ground, and we've noted already leading the Patriot League, 6th nationally in rushing offense, and now 28 straight games with 100 or more rush yards.
They routinely win time of possession. They average 33 minutes of possession per game. They are ahead in that category as this fourth quarter begins because they're so good on the ground. They've got kind of the heavy hitter in Yoder, the smaller, speedier Green, and 2 quarterbacks that do damage with their legs.
Yeah, and this is the formula for Kevin Cahill. Put points up on the board, get yourself a comfortable lead, and then allow your defense to do the rest. And from there, because you're so good running the ball with an 18-point lead, now you can control time of possession, dominate the trenches, and coast your way to a victory.
They just ran for another first down. Aaron Crossley, who's the 3rd running back on their depth chart, gets this carry. He is swarmed over at the line of scrimmage. Fordham defensively, you can say they've done their job through 3 quarters. They've played good enough defense, especially through halftime, to keep their team in the game. But Lehigh's defense has been that much better, pitching a shutout until a few moments ago. And then nestled within this defensive effort is that man making history now, the all-time leading tackler in FCS history.
Yeah, 14 tackles this afternoon for Jimmy Conway.
Throwing deep down the sideline, and Humphreys out of bounds. This time it was Kemper in coverage. Humphreys made multiple contested back shoulder catches against T.J. Jones. That time, though, could not get his feet in, so now it's 3rd down.
And I love the way Humphrey compliments Jamil. Jamil gets it done over the middle, underneath. He's the speedster, but Humphrey at 6'4", you can really throw it down the field and allow him to use his size to his advantage.
Lehigh 6 for 11 on 3rd down this afternoon. This is a mandatory stop for Fordham's defense if they want to get any closer into this game. Rams showing pressure. They back out of it. Johnson chased, got away from Robinson. Shaloub's after him, Davis after him. He's out of bounds, well shy the marker, plus a flag, which would normally be holding. It's in the land of holding. Fordham will decline it, let it be 4th down, and Lehigh will punt.
Holding. Offense number 6. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Yoder, the running back, blocking is the guilty party. More accepted penalties against Lehigh today than Fordham. A week ago, the Rams were called for 7, just 1 for Dartmouth. And Joe Comlin kind of tiptoed around. No coach is going to like that disparity, 7-1. He said some of the calls on his team were legitimate. There's no complaining. There were a couple of holes in key spots that he did not love, as Freeberg makes that fair catch at the 10-yard line. Today, Lehigh made some mistakes with those flags. It helped Fordham stay around in the first half. They couldn't turn them into points, and they're playing from behind as the fourth quarter continues after this.
Coming to you from Arthur Avenue, the Title Brothers.
I came to New York City from the Dominican Republic. I was a math and science kid, and the Jesuit education at Fordham made it possible to not just excel in science, but expand how I saw the world through public service and my mentors. Fordham helped me understand who I wanted to be, a doctor with a holistic human approach. Now that I have my own psychiatry practice, I help people lead better lives every day.
At Lehigh, we don't just want to leave our mark on the world. We want to leave the world better than we found it. We envision possibilities and engineer solutions. We think education should be experiential and experimental. We seek out new ways to connect and collaborate and create a community we can always come home to. At Lehigh, we are built for tomorrow's challenges. Are you?
Your whole home runs on internet, so don't take slow for an answer. Get Optimum Fiber, awarded the fastest and most reliable fiber internet, starting at only $40 a month. Be blown away by speeds 4 times faster than Verizon and 16 times faster than 5G home internet. Act right now and get an unlimited mobile line included for 1 year. And the Disney Plus Hulu Bundle Basic on us for 6 months. Experience fiber internet starting at $40 a month. Call 888-4Optimum, visit Optimum.com or a store near you.
DeChico & Sons is your grocery destination for curated specialty products, delicious store-made meals, and an exceptional shopping experience. Founded in the Bronx and run by Fordham graduates, we have proudly served our community for over 50 years. Explore our gourmet departments, including an authentic Italian bakery, premium meat selection, fresh produce, and personalized catering services for any event. DeChico & Sons, quality first.
As you can see on 2 scoreboards, Lehigh has this lead on Fordham early in the 4th quarter here in the Bronx. Andrew Bogish and Andrew Posadas with you. Fordham scored its first touchdown, its first point of the game last time on the field. Had an eventful trip trying to get 2 points. Had a conversion negated by a hold. Then had pass interference called against Lehigh to get another shot from the 2-yard line. And had Gunnar Smith fumble a strip sack. But they tackled the return, Nick Peltekian, before he scored bonus points for Lehigh. Rams defense gets off the field, offense back to work, but failing to get that 2-point conversion, throwing the math all off here, down by 18. Obviously, still a 3-score game.
Yeah, 3-possession game, but it's got to come here offensively. You got to score on every possession that you have left here in this 4th quarter.
This team prides itself on shots down the field offensively, but that's again predicated on the run game, which is struggling once again today, somewhat understandably against this Lehigh defense. But, this is a chance, a spot where you want to throw the ball down the field, but it's just impossible to do it.
Yeah, Fordham's only averaging 9 yards per reception, so Lehigh keeping everything in front of them and really forcing Fordham to have to play underneath instead.
They did on that last catch get a new set of downs. Smith on the take back, sets and throws. Noted Tracy can't bring it down. He was wide open, and Gunnar Smith missed him.
It's a whole lot of room to run for Noden Tracy if Gunnar Smith can put that ball a little bit lower, threw it a little too high, and Noden Tracy unable to catch it and start to turn upfield to make that yard right there, just too high from Gunnar Smith because Noden Tracy has an extra 20 yards potentially at his disposal.
That's a rarity, Fordham having somebody that open. And the way they're going generally on offense, just 23 points over their last 2 games, now just 6 so far today. They can't make mistakes. John Morris looks like it's Benton breaking free. Mason Moore has the angle and gets him down inside the 10, but there's the big hitter deep into Lehigh territory.
And we were talking about what would jumpstart this Fordham offense. Jack Benton has the longest reception of the year, 70 yards, and right here, finds space over the middle and daylight down the field as Lehigh barely tackles him and Fordham in business inside the 10-yard line.
Jamel James stutter stepping, being patient, but no hole opens. 2nd and goal will be next.
And I mentioned the 70-yard reception by Jack Benton. Well, you can erase that. 72 now his season long. Jack Benton has the afterburners, a great speedster, and he's proven that when he's gotten the opportunities.
Benton stayed out for that last play. Now he comes to the sideline, gets a break, some helmet taps and some hugs as well. 2nd and goal. Smith looking right. There's nobody there, and he is engulfed. There are 4 gold helmets around Fordham's quarterback. Ohoyski's getting up. He's got to be in on that sack.
Smith, sack for loss of 3.
Lorenzo Portella, number 93, a reserve defensive lineman, was in there as well. That'll be 5 sacks, though, now of Gunnar Smith.
Yeah, between Ohoyski, Burke, Spatney, and this defensive front, they have caused that Fordham offensive line fits all afternoon.
Fordham gives up as many sacks per game as any team in America, and they're above their average, almost number 6 there. Smith gets it away. That's a catch, but not a touchdown. Jamel James took the hit after holding it in.
Complete to Jamel James.
Right here, Gunnar Smith using all of his 6'5" frame to escape the pressure. And how about Jamel James knowing he's going to take a lick from Peletecki and still able to bring that home and makes it a much more manageable 4th down.
This is 4th and goal.
At the 2.
From the 2. Spatney showing blitz. Smith's got time now. He fires, and it's incomplete. Intended for Carter, but great coverage in the flat. And Fordham does not get in the end zone. 3rd time they're stopped on 4th down in Lehigh territory today.
And a lot of contact there, jostling between Jabril Carter, and I believe that was Luke Denny in coverage in the end zone. But again, within 5 yards, there's a lot more contact allowed by the officials. And right there, Luke Denny gets the best of Jabril Carter, and Fordham, another long sustained drive, ends in 0 points. As we'll be back after this commercial break. Lehigh currently leads 24-6 here in the Bronx.
We're 6 on the scoreboard. Lehigh's defense, a 4th down goal line stand. 3rd time they have stopped Fordham on 4th down in their territory. The first 2 kept things tight, kept them in front going into halftime. And now this one helps them protect this 18-point lead. And whatever kind of fleeting hope Fordham might have had as Jack Benton was running 72 yards down the field to set up that goal-to-go situation, all of that might have disappeared with that 4th down stop in the end zone.
At the 31, at the 25, and then at the 2-yard line, great opportunities to get points, yet Fordham comes away with nothing, and that's really been the difference. Those are 3 crucial possessions that could be the difference between 24-6 and potentially 21-24 if Fordham could have cashed in.
Yeah, you never know how things happen. The butterfly effect's a real thing, but yeah, one of those stops was late in the first half. Fordham could have scored there, gone into halftime down 10-3 or 10-7, and then had the football to start the 3rd quarter. And if you drive for points there, this game is so much different. Instead, the shutout continued, and now Lehigh has tacked on 2 second-half touchdowns. They get this one last stop on 4th down, and they are very much in control of this one, trying to get to 8-0. This would be their 13th consecutive regular season win. They won their final 5 games last year, including a postseason game. They lost to Idaho, went through an offseason, brought basically everybody back. They were a young team when they won last year. So they're still young. They've got a whole other year of experience into this year, and they have just kept it rolling. And for the most part, you've seen them flex their muscles. They have too many flags. We know that's going to be a point of contention after this one. But they've been good on the ground. They've been very good on defense. And we've seen the creativity as well of the offense with Hayden Johnson, who's throwing here on 3rd down, and wide open is Jeffrey Jamil. Maybe the one thing that we haven't seen on offense is a big Jamil day, but that time he's wide open on 3rd and short to move the chains.
Yeah, Jeffrey Jamil came into this game, 3 of his last 4 games over 100 yards. That'll help put him over 50. And with that last throw, Hayden Johnson, we talked about this run game, but now he's passed for over 200 yards this afternoon as well.
It'll be the 2nd straight week where I wouldn't say a run-first quarterback, but neither Hayden Johnson nor Grayson Saunier of Dartmouth, they are not prolific passers. They're dual threat guys, but Saunier threw the ball tremendously well a week ago, 20 of 29, 21 of 29. And now Johnson not that sharp in terms of completions. He's missed a couple of throws, but over 200 yards, and he's made some big throws in big spots today.
Yeah, and those are 2 teams with the run games that they have and the read options that they go and execute. From there, once defenses start to dive and crash in more and more consistently for Saunier and for someone like Hayden Johnson, now that opens up the pass attack, and you can really let it go like we saw just now to Jamil down the sideline.
Yoder trying to get outside. That's Claudia Robinson on his back. Both teams have their regular guys out on the field right now. A 3-score game, 6+ minutes and counting here in the Bronx. It's going to be 3rd and 7 for Lehigh. Nobody has been good defensively on 3rd down. The offense is a combined 14 of 27 in this spot. It's been the 4th down stops from Lehigh that we were just discussing that might loom the largest this afternoon. Rams blitz on 3rd and 7. It's picked up. Johnson throws, and there's Humphrey again. Another contested sideline grab. This time Kemper's the victim. It's another Lehigh 1st down.
And whether it's TJ Jones or Alex Kemper, it's just so hard to stay in front of a tall receiver, especially one like Mason Humphrey, who can get down the field in a hurry. And all you really got to do is just throw it up and trust in that catch radius. Mason Humphrey having a heck of a game. He's got 4 catches, 84 yards to go along with a 30-yard reception today.
And he survived what looked like a bad lower leg injury early in this game, trying to make a similar catch to that. Landed wrong, was down, seemed to be in a lot of discomfort, but he was back on their next drive. He has been fine since as Johnson takes off. And out of bounds he goes with Kemper's help. Near the 20-yard line. Nate Lindsey-Gill was over there as well for Fordham.
Yeah, partner, we talked about Fordham's defense holding Hayden Johnson, not allowing him to scramble and gash them. He'd only had an 8-yard run. That was his longest before this run right here. And Fordham's defense, you can just tell the wear and tear being out there, the extra reps with Fordham's offense earlier going 3 and out. It's just taking its toll on this Fordham defense that's now on their heels yet again.
They give it a green, and Shaloub and Jalen Dawson break up that run play.
Jaden Green, the ball carrier. Dropped for a loss by Jalen Dawson. 2-yard loss on the play. 2nd and 12 from the 22.
On a rollout, Johnson's throwing. Jamil is catching. He takes on Kemper, shoved out of bounds. Right at the 10-yard line. It's a 1st down.
Johnson pass complete to Jeffrey Jamil.
And I think what makes that so difficult for Alex Kemper in coverage is Jeffrey Jamil comes off the line like he's going to block for Hayden Johnson, potentially running to his left, but at the last moment breaks off that and flashes to the ball. So again, with this zone read, wide receivers also play a pivotal role in fooling you, thinking that it might be a run, but then breaking free and going into a pass instead.
This is 1st and goal for Lehigh. Looking for the put-away points this afternoon here in the Bronx. They're going to keep it in the air. Johnson, front corner of the end zone. Jamil made the catch. He's shy of the pylon. He made that catch with a flag being thrown basically at him. And they are asking Lehigh what they want to do in this situation. It was a catch. The ball is at the 2-yard line if they decline the penalty.
On the defense. That penalty's declined. Result of the play, 2nd down.
Another high degree of difficulty catch from Jeffrey Jamil, who, by the way, is the holder for this team. He sometimes returns kicks and punters. He barely leaves the field.
He's a Swiss Army knife for Kevin Cahill.
But he's too good as a receiver to put him in danger in other places.
Well, I mean, if he's got great hands, you want him to hold on to that football during field goals, whatever the case may be. If it's a windy day on a kickoff and you need it to be stay on the tee, why not? If you got great hands, use them.
Matt Mahalik, the sophomore, the running quarterback, is in, and here he goes looking for a hole, but there isn't one.
This Fordham D-line showing some pride here. They don't like what the scoreboard's looking like. They don't want to see another touchdown go through the end zone. So right there, 2 back-to-back good plays, stuff the run, and now 3rd and 3. You've got to think this is a run play. Just depends. Where does Lehigh go? Do they want to go Johnson, Mahalik, or do they go Yoder or Green as the Lehigh Mountain Hawks will walk back over to the sideline? So we have the 2-minute warning now.
It'll be 3rd and goal from the 3 for the Mountain Hawks. They lead by 18. They're in control of this one, but they want more points. They'll try for them right after this on SNY. Back from the 2-minute timeout here in the Bronx. 3rd and goal from the 3 for Lehigh. Looking to add either 3 or 7 to this 18-point lead. The number 7 team in America trying to get to 8-0. 12 consecutive regular season wins for this Bethlehem, PA operation. Rolling out, Johnson looking, hoping, and he's pushed out of bounds as he recoils by Drew Minnick.
Hayden Johnson got out to his right, trying to extend the play, allow his wide receivers to move around and adjust. But Drew Minnick at least stays in his space long enough to force a tough throw out of bounds.
You know, I was waiting because it was not immediate, but it is 4th and goal. And again, these two head coaches are best friends.
Yep.
And I was wondering if Kevin Cahill was going to go for 6 here and not just a 3, with this game basically already decided. The field goal unit is out. And the kick is good from Nick Garrido.
Lehigh 27, Fordham 6.
Pushing the lead to 21, 150 left here in the Bronx. So Lehigh's going to win. They're going to be 8-0. It's a 13-game regular season winning streak going back to last year. But much like last week, a game that was within reach for Fordham into the second half. Last week against Dartmouth was 16-13. This game was only 10-0 at halftime, but single-digit points today, 23 points total over the last 2 games coming into today. We've seen this program score 29 points by halftime.
Yep.
And they just can't find enough on the offensive end now to balance out some pretty legit work on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and when you're looking at these last 2 games, Fordham's defense, they've held their end of the bargain through the first half. They've at least kept it close enough, whether it's a 1-possession, 2-possession game, for their offense to potentially turn it around. But again, the inconsistencies throughout 60 minutes, not putting together a complete game, multiple 3-and-outs, coming out of the second half with a 3-and-out. These are things that for this offense, execution has been a theme, but it's the lack of execution with this offense that's been bothering them and really stopping them for being as good as this team can be, especially with the defense now back to close to full strength.
A minute 50 and 3 timeouts to work with as they try to put a few more points on the board before this one is done. The Rams are on the road after this one to play at Richmond. That's the newest member of the Patriot League. Don't forget that next year, Villanova and William and Mary join the league. The 2026 schedule, I don't think it's officially been put out just yet, but it was just finalized recently because of those 2 new additions, and you're going to play everybody in this new, bigger Patriot League. So teams have had to reshuffle their non-conference games because of that, giving some of those away. For Lehigh, they'll move on and get a little mini homestand. Georgetown and Holy Cross, who had just 1 win, the Crusaders, when this weekend began, as Gunnar Smith throws incomplete. Cooper LaFond and Gunnar Smith are slow getting up. That's your starting quarterback and your starting left tackle. And LaFond was banged up from last week. He's up. Smith is up, but gingerly getting back into play here. What's looming for Lehigh is their season-ending game with Lafayette, the rivalry. It'll be number 161, I believe.
Yep.
The most played rivalry in college football, and that might be the de facto Patriot League title game. Gunnar Smith went deep. Jack Freeberg cut off his route, and it's incomplete. Maybe only Mason Moore had a shot at it, and Moore was talking to the Fordham sideline, and still is, as he leaves the field.
But most importantly, at least Gunnar Smith is good after taking that lick on the previous play, stayed in there and threw that ball downfield. And you mentioned Lafayette and Lehigh. Right now, Lafayette at the top of the Patriot League, they're 3-0. Lehigh will tie them now 3-0 apiece. And as you noted, if things hold true to form, that rivalry game, not only is it for bragging rights, but it's going to be for who wins that Patriot League championship.
Lafayette was just pulling up their schedule.
1st and 10 Lehigh at the 30.
They're hanging out this weekend after playing at Oregon State last week. That's an odd non-conference trip to Corvallis in the middle of October. But they are home next weekend. Excuse me, they're at Holy Cross next weekend. Colgate at Richmond, and then the Lehigh finale on November 22nd. So yes, Lehigh will join their neighbors at 3-0 atop the Patriot League in 73 seconds. Lehigh in the victory formation out of shotgun.
Again, everyone does everything out of shotgun. You can't escape it. And I think we barely see quarterbacks under center unless you're in the pro game. You just don't see here. Everything is spread, shotgun, pistol. I mean, this is what we wanted, though. When we played NCAA college football 2005, 2006, in our younger days, this is what we ran.
Yeah, but I thought you always at least took a direct snap under center to kneel things out. But shotgun snap with the guy on either side, plus that's Jamil as the safety net behind him, and that's all they need to do. Two knees, and now handshakes in the Bronx. Number 7, Lehigh, gets win number 8, going away, 27-6 over the Rams on this Saturday afternoon, and the two very close head coaches, Joe Conlon, Kevin Cahill, embrace in the middle of the field. And Cahill now is 2-1 against his buddy.
Yeah, great friends from the days back at Yale, and he's got back-to-back victories over Joe Conlon. And not this all-time Lehigh, they're 12-7 here in the Bronx. They've had no problems getting on the road and beating the Rams here at Moglia Stadium.
They also, for whatever reason, have been struggling as a program after the bye, coming off a bye today. Maybe by their standards, a slow start, just 10-0 at intermission, but they pull away here in the second half. They win by 21. A really stellar top-to-bottom effort from their defense, and then the offense finally got in the end zone consistently here after halftime to win by 21.
Yeah, 3-0 in the Patriot League now. They'll have 4 consecutive Patriot League games to end the season. And now for Kevin Cahill and his players, the mission to become repeat Patriot League champions continues, and they'll move on to Holy Cross next.
And we joked, he told us during the week, we have not played a full 60 minutes yet. I don't know that today's going to count either. There were flags, there were some missed throws, there were some mistakes. But again, it's a win for his team. And at the end of the day, 13 in a row in the regular season, 8 for 8 this season, and now 3-0 officially joining Lafayette atop the Patriot League standings with their season-ending showdown looming maybe even more importantly than usual this year. Once again, huge thanks to our crew, led by the great Artie Gooden, the great Robert Dokes. Thanks to all of them for their hard work today. Thank you guys for watching. It's Lehigh, number 7 in the country, looking the part, on the ground, through the air, and on defense. They come to the Bronx, and they win again, 27-6 over the Rams. For that crew, for my partner Andrew Posadas, I'm Andrew Bogish. Thank you, as always, for watching Fordham football on SNY.